So let me challenge you with this. If roughly 10 to 15% of my friends are moving this year and 100% of people I know someone who's moving, what if I were just to send everyone I know one direct mail postcard a month? It could be a holiday greeting. It could be anything that you want. It doesn't matter. But just sort of staying in touch with them would be very beneficial. See, direct mail is one of the best ROIs you're ever going to spend, especially when it goes to your database. And the reason for that is this. If you have roughly 100 people on your direct mail database, all 100 of them are going to get that piece of mail, regardless if it's a postcard or a letter. If they pick up this piece of mail and they throw it in the trash, big deal. They just physically engaged with you, which is great.
So, but I've been mailing now for 14 years. So, it took a long time to get there. So don't overthink it. I started with just 500 homes. And here, I'll show you where we've gotten, so where we are right now, so that you can have a better understanding of what that looks like, what you should be shooting for, because I strongly believe in mailers, because I get to interview some of the most amazing agents. And I can tell you, those agents that have this, that is now a career, they have two things that they do often. Number one is they build relationships through constant communication. And the other one, believe it or not, is some type of mailing.
So this is what my kids and I did for probably 2 years nonstop. The third year, I became #1 in my town. But I did this, I walked door by door myself. A lot of people want to pay somebody, a company to do this, but I wanted to meet people and talk about their homes, and I wanted them to meet me and have an opportunity to sell myself. So this was honestly the most successful mailing that I did in my whole entire career. And if I can go back to this, I will do it.
I just didn't want to be one of those cookie cutter people that would just send these boring postcards that people look at and throw away. And so when I went with your clinic, it was like, okay, she's got something here. And that's when I just decided to dive in.
The best investment. Decided to join one of your boot camps, and I was just hooked from there and decided to join your coaching group in the mailer clinic. I received, I think, what was it we talked about? The very first mailer I sent out, I received 2 CMA requests in the neighborhood behind me that nobody was farming. And both of those were between 1.3 and 1.5 million. It blew me away.
I'm one of those, you have to write it down, have to cross it out. If it doesn't get done, you put it back on the list to get done. And I've getting most of it done, but it's like, because there's so much and you get so much out of the mailer clinic and the camp, it's like, okay, where do I begin? Where do I start? I want to do it all, but no, I need to focus on one thing. And I'm one of those, I'll dibble in this, dibble in that. And then I'm like, okay, I'm stuck. And then that's when I reach out to Janine, and then she puts me back in line. It's like, well, let's figure it out. Let's make it work. And that's the thing I like about it, because you're not going to get that everywhere, but it was amazing. And now I'm working on getting that out to get that going. Plus my other little check off list is that I have to do.
Actually, it's amazing. So you can do so many things besides the mailers that you can work into your business. It's just great.
Thing that I like that I really couldn't, like, everybody's got great ideas, and I do, some other coaching stuff, and it's like, it's all really good, but I think with yours more so than other ones is, it's up and running. Like, you give us the format, and we don't have to do everything. It's like a piece.
Janine Sasso is a terrific trainer, educator, realtor, and I'm very happy to know her.
So it's very cool that she's created everything for you that you can take and tailor make into your own branding and attract your tribe.
You just took us through every single step. You have so much that you're offering. It's crazy. You really do. I don't know how you do it. I don't need to know. You're doing it, and it's amazing.
They're just like, what do I do? Where do I start? If someone really wants to do it, the boot camp is the put in. You show us step by step how to do it.
It is an unbreakable strategy that has worked for decades. You can enhance it however you want. You can enhance it with social media. You can enhance it with door knocking. You can enhance any strategy. But at the core, you have something that's unbreakable. And I really want you to have an unbreakable business for 2023. Who in here is saying, I want an unbreakable business? Let me know in the comments right now.
All right. Well, we are bringing it home today. Who's ready to just call this a week? You're like, man, this was a lot. I know it's a lot because I've been teaching this bootcamp since 2021, and every single agent tells me the same. They're like, nobody explained it this way. Nobody's done it this way. Like, what a difference things make when you are actually having an agent that is not just teaching you the theoretics, but actually the, what is necessary. I just left the call with my coaching group, and that's what I said. I'm like, we underestimate the amount of effort, right? How many of you have potentially like done something and you realized that was a lot, right? That was a lot. And if you think about it, if it's not a lot, wouldn't there be much more millionaires, billionaires, gazillionaires running around, right? You're like, yes, it has to be a lot because there is a level where all of us are pushing towards, and it's a level of growth, right? A level of growth to really be like, okay, what needs to happen? Growth is supposed to be a little uncomfortable. And I think when we're growing, we're stretching, right? Things are good. Things are one of those things that I think uncomfortableness is awesome. So let's just put it this way. All right, welcome to day number 3. Good to see you, Gloria. She's on a streak. By the way, can we just give her like a good job for showing up 3 days in a row? It's hard. It's hard, but hopefully worth it. So again, we're going to dive straight in. I told you I've met some cool names in real estate, right? And that is all because of my direct mail journey. I hope I don't have to reintroduce myself a third time, but for those of you, if any, that are new, or you're like, oh, I've been getting these emails and I'm like, apparently I signed up for something. I don't remember what. Don't worry. I got you. We're going to do a recap. And this is when we're going to go through all the things from yesterday and day 1. Now, for me, I started in real estate in 2015, 2016, and I made $15,000 in real estate my first year, by the way. $15,000. Definitely not something you can survive on, right? And when you start to realize the amount of effort, again, it goes back to the same thing I said earlier, right? You're like, man, is this even worth it? And all of a sudden, your phone is constantly, having like leads that were getting forwarded to me, rental leads, by the way. I was telling my office people, I'm like, yeah, just send me your rental leads. What I was thinking, I don't know, but it got me started in realizing how many repetitive things are there. And I had, it was always somebody, always some follow-up, like you were wearing all the hats, right? And that was the theme really of this boot camp. So we're going to talk a little bit more about hats today. And we're also going to talk about a AI mailer. Yes, direct mail. I have it here, a version of it at least. Direct mail is not exempt from AI. So I'm going to go through a little bit of that as well today. This is a fun one to watch. This one here was created, again, this is the one I just showed you, right? But 90% with AI. And I say 90% because what the output was from AI, I'll show you. This is what I got from AI. I hated the colors. I said I wanted neon yellow and I wanted it to be bright and bold, and that's what I got. I'm like, this is not what I was looking for. So I threw it in Canva, made some modifications, and then what you saw here is what came out of it. So we're going to go through that part because creating mailers can take definitely some effort if you are looking for it to be on brand. So I think we talked a little bit about why the consumer is not looking for generic garbage anymore, right? So, and I don't think this is bad for AI. Like if you wanted the faster way, I showed my statistic mailers is actually what we discussed on my group today, but I showed them the one I do. It's like this one, just bigger version of it. And it takes some effort. However, my 1 hour of effort results in me reaching over 5,000 people. Okay, 1 hour of effort over 5,000 people. I will gladly put in that effort 100% every day, and I can do it at home while I'm under a blanket, while I'm in my pajamas, while it is 10 o'clock at night, while it is 5 o'clock in the morning, while my kids are playing in the backyard, right? I can do it on my terms. And that's why I love direct mail. It's like on my terms is a big, big part of how I actually thrive. It's freedom, right? So here's what we're going to cover today. I want you to understand the 3 layers that go onto every single direct mail piece. I want you to create your winning postcard. I want to show you the AI hack to get it done as well. And a quick reminder, we have reached a point of over 66% done, which in my world generally means you had a pretty good glimpse into the bootcamp. So told you I'm a mom and I like to bribe people for their opinion. So we decided that we have the books that we're giving away for somebody to put a testimonial video. Yes, a scary video, I know. All you got to do is hold up your camera, go something like that, right? Why did you decide to join the bootcamp is one of the questions. I decided to join the bootcamp because XYZ. Next one, I think somebody else should join it because ABC. And I did upgrade to VIP, and here's what I thought, or you can just end the video if you didn't upgrade to VIP. Either one is fine. And then for those of you that are really, really, really against videos, I get it. You can just text the word review to our number and it will give you our Google My Business link. You can also just search for my Google My Business. It's up to you. And just put a written one on it. And my overachievers, I got you. You can have double the prices if you want to do both. So this is a big part of how this bootcamp actually has helped a lot more agents than just the ones that are here. Because I know there's a lot of stuff out there that is garbage. I know there's a lot of 1 hour webinars out there that are just very, not worth my time. Let's put it this way. Sometimes you just attend stuff and you're like, I don't know. Do I want to spend the effort? But yeah, so I get it. And this bootcamp has really shifted a lot of agents' businesses. So some of you may have read some of the reviews and thought, you know what? Fine, I'll give it a try. Now, the hat analogy. We have so many hats, a lot of hats. I think one day I'm just going to come in with like a stack of hats, had my camera more room, right? Good morning, Samantha. But at the end of the day, this has been the theme of the week is what hat are we wearing? Today's hat is my favorite one. I love these 2 hats. And I thought last year I wanted to hand over my marketing hat. And it turned out I don't. It's like I just enjoy it too much. So today's hat is your marketing hat and also our CEO hat, the one that is you're in charge. You're the CEO of your company, right? We are all Mad Hatters. I couldn't agree more. At least we wear pretty hats. I think our hats that we're wearing are pretty cool, but there's a lot of them. So recap, is anybody brand new here? Should I spend a little bit more time? Is that the first day you're logging in thinking what the heck is happening? Let's see. All repeat offenders? Are we all repeat offenders? Looks like you guys all might be repeat ones. All right, so we're gonna browse through it fairly quickly then, since you guys had all the time in the world to listen to me already. So quick recap. We've got back one. I told you about the really simple 3-tier system that has scaled my business and that I continue to use, not just to actually scale my real estate business, but also I use the same principles inside the Hyperlocal Agent, which is my training company for geographic farming and past client retention. So how does this work? Well, envelopes to get people to raise their hand, right? They're like, hey, I think there might be interest. Awesome. Emails to get people to maybe like me, because if not, there's an unsubscribe button. No hard feelings whatsoever, right? We all get a lot of emails. If they don't provide you with value and we do not connect on an emotional level, it's okay. And then events. And events are there to get the belly to belly done. Guess what this one is? That's right, it's an event. But in my real estate business, we're talking about open houses, listing presentations, buyer consultations, and neighborhood events generally. And all of these are what leads for me to a customer. Now, we also talked about mailbox and inbox. Direct mail is one of the very few mediums that will allow you to show up online and offline. So now I am sending a postcard, okay? And that postcard is now also showing up in the email inbox. So not am I just in the mailbox, I'm also in their email inbox. Why is that important? Because now I'm taking more mind share without actually paying for it. It's kind of like a secret superhero hack that nobody knows about. Then we talked about the fact that I don't just blindly mail anywhere in the tri-state. Okay, I actually mail inside my geographic farm because I can do a lot more. I won't say damage, but I can do a lot more inside my geographic farm because there's always follow-up in place, right? A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm just going to mail an expired. I'm like, okay, go look for an expired. It's 3 towns over. I'm going to mail it expired, 5 postcards, 5 letters. Then what? Do you have follow-up in place? Do you have market share in place? Do you have a way of continuing to stay in touch? Because you know, after this class that we had, 5 times is not enough. Why do we know 5 times is not enough? Because Google did a study, and Google has a lot of money to do case studies. So we listen to Google, right? It's 7 hours of interaction, 11 touch points with a person, and 4 different locations. If you just did one thing with that expired and you're wondering why it's not working, that is why it's not working. You don't have enough platforms, you don't have enough touches, okay? And you didn't spend enough hours. May you get lucky and have somebody call you? Sure, right? What is it? Every blind chicken finds a corn piece every now and then. There's like weird sayings here. I got like German sayings that I'm like, I think it would translate to that. I'm sure there's a saying like this here. Like a blind hen finds I don't know. I'm sure somebody's better about these things than I am. But that's why I concentrate on a farm. Because even if I go to an expired in my farm and I'm like, okay, I had my 5 touches, now nothing else is happening, right? They're going to still get my farming mail. They're still going to get invited to my events. They're still going to start seeing my signs. I don't stop being top of mind just because I have nothing else to send them on an expired basis. That is the difference of why farming simply compounds. This chicken statement is going to drive me crazy now. So yesterday we also covered, not yesterday, the day before. I got to modify that Monday. Every realtor needs an instant home evaluation tool. We live in an instant gratification society. It's not about accuracy. It's about speed. I gave you the, examples of we all want to get to our results faster, right? And then it's a matter of what you do as follow-up. Then we covered yesterday, the tour yesterday, we covered how my mailers are actually driving online traffic. Because they're driving online traffic in a hyper-specific area, I have also the ability to not just look at, okay, how many people have visited my site, but I actually get to see who has visited my site, right? So it would say Jane Doe at 123 Main Street, and here's a potential email we found. So it's like a reverse lookup that we do through website visitor reveal. And no, it's not. And, it is a paid service that I use, which I think is like 10 cents a record or something like that. We also covered why I wouldn't hire a postcard company. I will not be reduced to a little square in the corner. Postcard companies, their websites, their mailers have one objective, which is supposed to attract you. You are the product to these companies, not the seller. You are. And that is why you see polished headshots, mega mansions, right? The designs are supposed to make you feel good about yourself, not sellers to actually see the reason to reach out. I'm going to tie all of this together in a pretty bow today. Absolutely. That is what we're going to do today. And then we also covered how do you make sure you find actual real sellers? I went over the NAR report with you. How do you find these people? I gave you the website with the census data in the most easily digestible way. This was your homework yesterday to look up, are your people actually in that neighborhood? The number I want to see personally, by the way, is generally over 70%. I want to see my ideal target, which is defined by NAR's report of who's currently selling, at over 70%. How many of you did look that up yesterday for your farm or your proposed farms? Hopefully a couple of you did. Now, this one is just a reminder that our VIPs have had extra trainings getting sent their way, and they also have the recordings. So if you are a VIP, you get to listen to it as many times as you like for always the most up-to-date one there. And you also have access to my print portal for 30 days. It is not a membership you're creating. It is a 30-day access pass. Use it or lose it. This is called a bootcamp for a reason. I do not take criers into consideration after the 30 days are done. So use it or lose it is the mentality on this one. Fair? Fair. Great. So now the question I see, are you going to tie it up in a bow? Yes, I am. And I always know people get very, very like nervous, right? They're like, oh my gosh, is she going to pitch us? Is she going to sell us something? I already told you about it yesterday of what I do. So I'm going to just recap that and I'll go into more details later. But I don't want the fear taking away from you listening. Fair? So I've mentioned GeoCentral a bunch of times at this point, right? You guys have seen it online. Maybe some of you looked. This is what the website looks like. You have website pricing at $19.88 a year, which breaks down to $166 a month, or a quarterly price of $597 a quarter, which breaks down to $199 a month. I told you yesterday, and I'll repeat it here before we get into the trainings, this is not what this bootcamp offer will be. For the bootcamp, we have put together what we call our 90-day special, because before you can trust somebody, does it work, right? I always think it's good to learn how to crawl together before both you and I can run together. And it is a two-way street for us, right? A two-way street, meaning, are you going to show up and are you going to be part of this building the business, or do you expect all of us to do it? Because again, you need to be involved in your farms. And the other part here is my team said they will do a complete install done with you on it, so you do not have to do it on your own. So what that means is essentially what I do here. When I get asked, hey, can you install your system in my farm? I sure can, but I will charge for my time. And my team said, let me actually learn what you do, and then we can do it for people and free up your time. So shout out to my team for doing that. So now they will do exactly what I do here, but you don't have to worry about this one anymore. Okay. So that is everything we're going to cover later. Again, I'll go into detail. I will not go into detail right now because we have content to go through. But what we're going to talk about later is how we're going to create an 8x8 farming domination campaign that will literally be automated for 1 year. So you do not have to worry about anything for 1 year in terms of mailings. We talk about 90-day access to GeoCentral Pro. We want to talk about 90-day access to our print portal, to our course portal, to our template shop. If there's anything you want created, my team is pretty good in creating graphics. We're going to talk about happy birthday, set it and forget it, with or without gifting. That is, again, your choice. How do we install happy anniversary automations for you? We talk about referral gifts. We talk about email drips. We talk about funnels, review. So if you guys texted the word review, this is essentially what we're going to build into it as well. Again, there's pre-listing box tutorial, book writing tutorials, buyer and seller webinar tools, calendar integration, social media comments. We'll talk about all of this at the end today, but I wanted to at least point it out to you so you don't sit here and be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Because obviously I still own a company that does business really, really well too. So for those of you that are wanting to join us, I know somebody's already joined and she's scheduled for her first welcome call. You can go to geocentral.com/90 days. So that is our link. And with that said, let's dive into today. Okay, let's go through everything. What I was showing is our 90-day offer for GeoCentral Pro. There's no boot camp. It's a boot camp special. A boot camp special where you get to actually drive the car that powers my own personal business, which right now runs in the background while I'm here. It sent out happy birthday messages today. If you actually go to my store, you see somebody got a birthday. I didn't do it. Anyhow, all right, so let's talk about it. Clearly, I have sent quite a few pieces of mail. Some of them did pretty okay, and some of them not so much. So today's goal, we're going to complete what we call the Post-it Challenge and creating a Canva board with AI this time. That is the AI postcard creation segment that we're going to get into. And this is divided into a little bit of a different format because some of it, there's a video I recorded, and we're going to go and just watch through that one together. And then there's also the live components with it. So a big part with AI is to understand that it's only as good as the inputs we give it, okay? And I am going to show you the easy way, but I also want you to understand the principles so you can prompt your AI to do better, or you can actually just learn how to do it properly. So first up, Post-it Challenge. We're going to go through what are the 3 layers that go onto your direct mail, because you need to understand, are they present when ChatGPT gives you an output, or do they need to be tweaked? Okay, so let's dive into that one. And then I also want to, this bootcamper came through the beginning of this year. Her name is Kendra. And Kendra has gone through the bootcamp in January, and she was doing a postcard. So she sent me a message in February and said, hey, I created this Valentine's mailer. Can you have a look at it? I said, sure. So we looked at her postcard. This is hers. And first up, huge shout out because of a couple things. She tried something. It is not perfect. I will tell you, it is not polished, but she started. And that is huge. How many of you have thought about doing something and never really did it, right? And then you're like, man, I don't like that. And then you thought about something, you're actually doing it, and you feel pretty good about it, right? So that's where she started. And she took action. Again, not perfect, not optimized, but she moved. And that's what matters, right? So agents are getting stuck in thinking about it. I can tell you, by talking to a lot of agents doing a lot of productions, they do not get stuck thinking about it. They are action takers. I have a giant shirt that says action taker. It's my favorite shirt. Because at the end of the day, that is between you and $1 million. It's just you taking action, right? So because I saw she tried, I gifted her a template. I said, you know what, do you mind if I take your concept and let me just adjust it, okay? So out of her template, I created the one that you see right there. So I gave her my Canva link and said, hey, thanks for the inspiration. Here's a Canva template for you, and go ahead and send this out, okay? You see the difference, between clarity, right? This is not about clutter. All the hearts, I get it, it's cute, share, but it takes away from the messaging, right? So really just cleaning a lot of this up. This is when you do a lot of mail and you have access to templates. You don't even have to spend the hours and hours she spent in Canva. I can tell you she spent hours and hours in Canva. And that should not be what we do in terms of business. I know Canva got really, really big. Like I use it, right? Obviously I use it. But some of us should not be spending hours in Canva because we're not making the money we should be making. It's one of those hats where you have to decide, is this hat worth my time? So I gifted her this template, and I want you to see, like, she reached out and all I did was I refined it, right? And that improved version, the instant QR code that we talked about on day 1, you guys remember that one? If somebody scanned it, it would automatically send her a message. Instead of just sending out a cute postcard, she would actually be building a system around it. So if she sent that with GeoCentral, which honestly I can't, I haven't looked and seen if she's done it. I don't think she did. I think we've gotten that far and then it again stopped. But if she sent this with Geoessential and she kept the movement, she knows exactly who scanned, who interacted, who raised their hand, and that's the difference, right? Momentum with direction. Instead of you just hoping and trying, is this actually going to work? So the version I personally would send is a little bit different, and I'll tell you why. Because for me, it's like I look at things and I'm like, how can I make it more personal? Personalization on direct mail has a huge increase in getting people to notice that postcard. So first thing I would do is I would make sure that I merge in the picture of their house. Okay, that's like easy enough to do. Picture of their house going straight on the postcard. If I send you a postcard with your house on it, you want to notice? Probably, right? So at the end of the day, when you link arms with somebody that tested it, broken it, fixed it, and then optimized it, this is really where your marketing is getting just much more personalized at scale. And yes, automatically following up with your seller leads, right? It's no longer random. It all becomes predictable. And that's really what we are talking about in the bootcamp today. So I would make sure that their house picture is on it, being like the scroll stopping moment of like, hey, this is my house. We would also have their address in it, so they really know this is really my house, especially with cookie cutter neighborhoods. Sometimes you got to spell it out for them. And then the QR code would still function the same way. So today there's also a button above this video that says Ideal Client Worksheet. I highly recommend you are taking that download up top. It's a straight up Google Drive download, comes from my own Google Drive. And that is what these worksheets look like. That's like 9 of them, might be 10 of them. But this is where we have also UVPs, unique value propositions, that I think would make sense for you to look through. What makes you unique, right? That is a big part. Yes, Geoessential puts automatically the picture of their house on the postcard. So that one is the green button. I want to say above this one or that one. Not sure which one the green one is. But that one will get you the ideal client worksheet. And we're going to go through it. What I suggest you do with it is print it out and then look at all the columns. There's a lot of columns in there. Let me actually see if I can show it up. I don't think I have a printout of them. I should get a printout of them. There it is. Loading. All right. Let me share this tab. All right, let's see. Everybody can see that, hopefully? Yes, awesome. All right, so what you see here is that download. I just want to go through it real quick, but it does go over, let me zoom in, geographic, demographic, psychographic. So again, we're going to go over that in the video. But what I want you to do is really just highlight, what is your neighborhood like, right? Is this a luxury area? Is this a suburban area? Is this rural farmland? Do you live in a historic district you want to farm? Go over the age range that you're targeting. Again, I'm assuming you should be in the lower one if we're following the NAR suggestion of who's currently selling. I want you to go through and just circle your answers and then take a picture and feed it into ChatGPT. This will help you get better copy. All you got to do is circle it and feed it to the robot. Everybody can do that. Okay. It also talks about, like all of these here, you see, you can just circle it. There's demographic, circle it. There's psychographic, circle it. And when you have all of these, we're also going to talk about the PQRs. You're going to see the PQRs in the window in a second, or in the video in a second. Problem, questions, and roadblocks. Okay. What is holding your ideal person back? I have a lot of different things here for you guys to look through. Example, motivation for selling, a common problem. And again, what you've heard them say before. Motivation for selling. Maybe they're struggling with emotional attachment to the house. I have a lot of people that have lived there a long time. They're like, I've raised my children here. I've lived here all my life. Okay, that might be what they have as an issue. Or maybe they're saying, should I list higher and negotiate down? Or a roadblock, right? We got hesitation due to market conditions. Again, go through it and see what is the issue for my people that are in my neighborhood, right? Because again, if you have a luxury neighborhood, you probably have different issues than if you have a more cookie cutter neighborhood. Home isn't show ready, right? Or major repairs needed before listings. Not sure what updates or renovations are worth it. Go through it and see, what do I hear my people in my neighborhood oftentimes say when I talk to them? So that's the PQRs. There's a lot of them on there. And then I also added a page for UVPs, unique value propositions, and unique selling propositions, because I oftentimes talk to agents. There you go, 3% interest rate. Don't want to let go of it, right? Put it in there. I talk to agents and they're like, well, I don't know why I'm different, right? So we've added an entire 2 pages of UVPs that you could leverage to tell them, hey, this is actually how I'm different. And a big part of this is example professional photos. Like, we have a professional photo package. You and I can argue that this should be the standard, but how many of you have looked at the MLS and found cell phone pictures with a dog scratching its butt on there? Right? Or like the weird creepy arm on the mirror where you're like, seriously? Like, you couldn't even ChatGPT that thing out of there? So again, I think all of us can agree that standards are not the same for all of us. Neither should they be. It is a free industry, right? All of that good stuff. All right, let's see. Looks like, yeah, we've seen a lot of things in the MLS. I'm sure you have too. Let's go back to our slides. It says I lost connection. But anyhow, so that's what that button is up top. Add to stage. All right, just a little slow today. There you go. All right, so we are officially back on this. So that's what you get up top. Again, it is very, very helpful. Hopefully I convinced you guys to just grab it and trying to make it easier for you.
All right.
All right, so this one is a brief overview video so you understand what these are for. And again, the worksheet is supposed to help you. So let's dive into that one. I'm going to give you a brief overview of how we are going to structure the Post-it challenge. And first and foremost, simple piece of paper will do. And then we're going to divide it, I like to space them out, into 4 columns. And then the first one here is the who. Who is our seller? Who are we going to try and target? The next one here is P, Q, R. I'll go over that in a second. And then we got the UVP, also known as USP, unique value proposition, unique selling proposition, whatever you want to call it. It is there for one thing only, which is to stand out from the crowd. And then last but not least, the CTA. And this one is how the Post-it challenge is structured. So this way you have, and we don't need this one. All right. So first up, there are 3 Post-its on this one. And it goes over who is your ideal seller. And we're going to go over it in terms of geographic. That's number 1. Demographic. That's 2. And psychographic. That's 3. Next up, P, Q, and R. we're going to be focusing on this. And these things are unique based on who your seller is. So what are their problems? What questions do they have? What are the roadblocks? Okay, PQR. That's what we're going to work on right here. Next up, unique value proposition. What is the solution to the problems? Okay, you need to have something in place. And I can give you a couple examples as well. What's your unique mechanism, right? That might be staging, that might be cash offers, that might be an attorney package, that might be a moving package, landscaping, repair package. Think about anything that you know people do where you think, oh my gosh, I would totally hire them because they have a storage locker free of charge, or moving boxes. They have a moving truck. They have complimentary staging. They do, let's see, 3D tours, accompanied showings only. What else? Cleaning package, anything that is unique. So that's just the abbreviation of it. You have your unique way of doing business. And that is essentially what is this part here. And then the last one, the call to action for this bootcamp, we're going to talk about an instant home value, right? So I told you that on Monday, have one in place. And here's the reason why. Now, when you are going deeper into it, this CTA becomes a lot of different things. And the different things it could become is a free staging guide, a free moving guide, a paint guide. We have a quiz that we use. We have home buyer seminars on demand. We have home seller seminars on demand. We got for buyers our 9 loan programs. We got just so many different call to actions leading us to get a lead. However, right now, one focus, instant home value. All right, so this is how it's structured. And in the past, what I've done is go over my avatar, but I don't know how useful this is. So what we decided to do on this one is we're going to show you like columns for geographic, demographic, psychographic, so you can help get some help creating your avatar faster. And the nice thing is that this typically is not changing very much. So I'll give you an example real quick of my avatar. Find it, right? So my avatar is a homeowner of 30 plus years. They own a suburban home. It's a house. Sometimes they are widowers. They like to volunteer. They live in 60192. Many of them are retired, have grandkids. They're family oriented. They like gardening. The curb appeal is important to them. So that is just a couple things that I can tell you right off the bat about who is my ideal client. And when you look at the sellers, these sellers have different problems and different questions and different roadblocks that they're looking, to overcome than sellers who are looking to upsize and they're like in their early 40s, right? And they're struggling with trying to maintain a work-life balance and getting a house ready for showings and the dog and all of that. Like if they're at home, their problems and questions and roadblocks are much different. So you see how once you have your who, everything down below becomes customized based on who are you actually trying to target. And this is by far the easiest, most funnest way to figure out who are we trying to target. This really doesn't change much after you've gone through our exercise once, but it does get refined. So for example, I can tell you right now that a lot of my clients like to hold on to things because they are afraid that one day they will forget. They will forget a memory, right? Their brain is not going to function the way it does now. And knowing a lot of these things that I know now, I can continue refining my avatar and get better messaging in place. So, but we start here, and over the next couple of months and years, you will refine it even more. So I hope this overview was helpful. And with that said, let's dive into the post-it challenge, and I'll show you some graphics in terms of the who, and I will give you a couple minutes to complete your own post-it notes for the PQRs and the UVPs. All right, so the ideal client worksheet, yes, to create better copy, because if your copy is basic and hi, my name is, and I can help you buy, sell, and invest in real estate, right? That is what we're gonna try to avoid. So that is supposed to just, instead of you having to think about what is my client like, having starting things where you're like, yeah, this is my client, or no, this is not them, and just circling it makes it a whole lot faster. So hopefully that helps with that. And again, normally I'm going to go through the creation process in Canva in a time lapse. I just like screen record what I create. But with times changing, right, little robot there, we thought, okay, let's get an update into this one here as well. I want to first show you the goal, though, when we have a more refined way of looking at who are we creating this for. Right. And this is a process that you really can use for not just postcards, but you can use this for anything. Like if you're looking at putting out video content, okay, I got like video content right now that we're currently looking at. And if I look at that, my message needs to be super crystal clear for who it is, right? If I have somebody that has a 3% interest rate, that was one of the things that came up in the comments. Okay. First up, my ideal client, most of them have paid out houses. I will say that. Like that is one thing I can tell you already about mine. Most of them have paid off houses. So, and most of them then sell their house and purchase whatever else they're buying cash. Most of them that have, owned their house for 20 plus years, they actually had different interest rates. They don't even have these conversations oftentimes. So again, if you look at the conversations, if you keep hearing, well, our interest rate is so low, right? It's like a short-term goal. It's like, oh, I just want to send out a postcard, click a button and be done, right? It's like the easy button. You will pay for that easy button. But that's the part where if you put effort into it yourself, you have a different output on it. So, oh, it's a terrible analogy. I'm trying to think how I can put this. If you have clients who are 3% interest rate, they're likely more move-up buyers and sellers, and they're holding on to it for dear life. It's oftentimes financially related, and they're going to have to eventually make a decision, right? What is going to be the part that is more important, 3% or 5.5% or whatever, it's going to be. I think right now it might be 5.99. I think I saw quoted not that long ago, might be just over 6 right now. But again, when you look at that part, positioning, how much is your credit card? 24%. Okay, cool. Right? I mean, it goes up in certain things where it's like, maybe don't look at houses that are outside of your means on a monthly thing, right? I get it. Everything's gotten expensive, but if they are downsizers, that's normally what I hear on my upsizers, that my upsizers are stuck on their 3% rate. And honestly, remain in your house if you don't want to upsize and have a higher thing. Maybe you're not ready to upsize. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but at the end of the day, right? Markets are what they are. Interest rates are what they are. And if that is not what you have the stomach for, then maybe people need to stay. And that is a big part of what we tell people sometimes, right? Wanting to upgrade and having to upgrade are two different things. So, all right. I know I'm like no sugarcoating, tell me what you want, but don't tell me you want this and that because I'm going to call you out on it, right? Most of my buyers are pretty good about it, but yeah. So what's the goal for really understanding your person? So my avatar here is I have my older sellers, right? But oftentimes I also have the children in the area. So I'm like, okay, what can I do when that is the family dynamic? So out of the inspiration, right? It's like a grandson would be like, what? The color scheme came this postcard that is just something along the lines of grandma is moving, right? And it has all these different questions because I have a lot of time that people are thinking about moving their parents. So they are thinking about moving the parents and they have to get the parents on board. So this one was a mailer that was supposed to speak to both, which is a really hard thing to do, by the way. But grandma will pay attention because, oh, what a cute little boy that is. Like, reminds me of little Johnny, right? Parents will pay attention because this is yeah, we have to move my mom or we have to move my parents, or right? So they're going to pay attention. So this one was, who can I help? Do the curtains stay? How do you sell unwanted furniture, right? If they're going in assisted living, like what's happening with it? Do we have an estate sale? Are there good estate sale companies out there? What's the timing on this? There's a lot of questions, right? Do we have to make repairs first? They haven't touched the house since 1955 when they built it, right? There's a lot of questions involved, and there's a lot of pressure on the children, right? When they feel responsible all of a sudden. So again, but you need to really understand the mentality for these people. So that was an example. Here's another one. This one was in May. May was graduation, and we thought, okay, what can we think about for graduation? Because oftentimes I talk to parents who are like, you know, we are done with this high school, and as much as we love it here, right, we're here for the school, it's time to move. I have a very high tax burden on our properties. And when they do not need the schools anymore, they oftentimes will consider other places to live in. So out of that one came the tassel turned, now what, which is the tax bill ripped in half. And it just simply asked, all right, are we graduating from your big house, right? And it wasn't about, are you ready to go into a less expensive area? Because that doesn't sound good. It was a matter of positioning it. Hey, you just had a graduate. That's so exciting, right? Might it be time to graduate from your house? And it might also be where they're like, hey, actually, you know what? They're going off to college. We're going to have an empty room. We're still going to pay the taxes. Do we need this? And if the answer is no, right, let's move on. So that was an example. Here's another example. This one was for one that had a little bit of disrepair, where how many of you have driven past a house in your neighborhood and you're like, that house looks like it needs some upkeep because it doesn't look like anybody's done anything, right? Might that be because somebody isn't physically able? Might that be that the house is just in such disrepair, which I feel like we're seeing a lot. We're starting to see a lot of houses where people bought them and then they have no clue what to do with them. You know, they're like, what do you mean I have to replace the roof? Or what do you mean I have to spray for this, right? They moved to Florida and that. But I think a lot of that is really related to what do you see in your neighborhood? You might not see any of this in your neighborhood. I do. I see some of them where people are just simply overwhelmed. They're like, yeah, we got a quote to get our driveway fixed, and I don't have $10,000 lying around, right? Or we didn't plan for our car to break down and our roof needing to get replaced. So now I have a giant tarp on the roof and we haven't had a roofer out yet. And our insurance is not looking to pay and yada, 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 right? So things happen. And when things happen one after the other, like I've seen this with my in-laws and they're like, water heater went out, water softener went out, dishwasher went out, right? After a certain point, you're just like, well, it's 20 years old, you know, and then we just replace it. So it's not that big of a deal. But when things just happened, you're all of a sudden like, oh, another thing? Really? And you're like, really? Another thing? And it just keeps going. So again, out of that one came this postcard here. If the house needs repair, right? It's really a little bit of putting salt into a wound. I hate to say it, but you're like, okay, if this all needs to happen, that's a lot. It looks like you need a plan, right? And giving them a plan out of their situation. So again, a planning template, we have that one linked for you. We're not going to go through this one today because there's a lot of other things we're going to cover. But essentially it's just, it's a Canva template. So one of our past boot campers created this one for our fears, results, emotions, desires. That's our FRET, that's our avatar. Problems, questions, roadblocks. So you just kind of fill this one in. You also think about where are they at in their real estate journey, okay? Value item, that's currently our instant home evaluation. It can be a lot of other things, but for this boot camp, this is what we're going to assume. Think about their emotions, okay? What do they go through? That's a lot. And then image inspiration, just think about, okay, what can I currently think of? Again, that other planning sheet I showed you for the ideal client avatar also had on there, what might be going on in January and February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So you can always put it as a relevant portion. Okay. All right. So that's the Canva inspiration board. Feel free to grab it as a template and you just drag and drop things in. And the reason I like this one is obviously AI is great, but at the same time, you can also make sure when you have your ideal client into the upper left, if what you're creating doesn't align with that person, right? You keep your avatar front and center. If that doesn't align, it's easy to course correct it. So that is how we make sure a lot of our stuff gets aligned. Like I said, I wanted to teach you how to do it because creating things in Canva is fun, but creating things in Canva without purpose is a waste of your time. So now you have purpose and direction. Fair? Okay. Now, over the years, right, of creating my own style of postcard, I was personally able to train my AI for usable postcards designs. And I'll say usable. The one that you see in this little picture here is actually one that my GPT gave me. And it was not usable without my input and prompts. I will tell you that. Like, this needed to be very, very, it needed to be trained. And that's what we've done over the last couple of months. We have trained on all of my postcard templates. We have trained it on so many things for our members to just make it easier. And I do have a video of it going through what this creation here came to be. So it is from my last boot camp. So it is a video here, but it went through the exact prompt so you can see the conversation. And if you want, we can recreate it as well in it. So let's share this one. Let me make sure everybody can see that. Yes. Okay. Looks like we're all good. Okay. It says my browser lost connection, but I will get back there. So it's a GPT and the button just says, I need a postcard design idea. And it says, good, before I give you concepts, key inputs, upload the agent photo, property, if this is listing based. I actually haven't tried one. Maybe we'll try one. And tell me what's the main theme. Okay, what are we doing here? Home value link, agent name, brokerage name, brand colors, logo, seasonal theme, orientation. I haven't tried the vertical one yet, so we'll see. But this is where it asked me a bunch of questions. I said, okay. I will say I've tried a couple different inputs. So I ended up with not a full body one. I don't like when feet are showing. It's kind of weird, but I did just do the one that I generally use on my marketing. So if you look at my marketing, what you see is that I have upper torso normally. Sometimes I go a little further and have, with the letters right now, but I have kind of down to my knees or something. Sorry. So that is what I used as input. I said I just didn't like the full body one because it tried to use the entirety of the body and it made me smaller. So I gave it that one. I said it's no property that we're talking about. Here's my name, my brokerage, my home value tool. My colors are black, white, and yellow. Spring market postcard that's horizontal to get seller leads. That's literally what I said. All right, perfect. And it gave me 3 postcard concepts. Concept 1, your neighborhood snapshot. It goes through visual direction, layout, images, headline directions, color style, seasonal tie-in, and why it works. And concept 2, spring seller opportunity. And then it gave me concept 3, which is the one I picked, simple home value check. So I'm like, let's just go with simple. So pick 1, 2, or 3. And this is literally output 1. What you see on the screen is the output it gave me. Would I send this out to my farm? 100% yes. 100% I would send this out. How many of you would send this out? Right? I would send this out. So I think it's kind of cool to see how far they have come, and you don't have to sit there hours and hours in Canva and be like, okay, what do I do? How do I do that? You can, and if I didn't like it, I could certainly bring it in Canva and then just tweak it, right? Go back to my slides. All right, so I am actually seeing if we can potentially just recreate one. But a big part of this is seeing what is possible with the right input. One of the things that I was wondering to do was, input. And I'm going to show you in a second how do you create infographics like that. But maybe we'll jump into my, let me find my buttons. There you go. Let me show you with a real trained one how this would work out. And yes, we have an entire back-end arsenal of templates. I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds. I have a template catalog here somewhere. Let's see. This is our letter catalog. So there's imagine that this is the letter one. We have literally an entire template catalog for postcards. I'm sure I can find it. All right, let's see what we got here. Share this tab. All right, so this one here is our internal GPT for it, and just says I need a postcard idea. I did already go ahead and find my cutoff feet picture. Okay, so before I give you concept, property photo, headline, home value link, agent name, and all of that stuff. So let's get it in there. Let's see, property photo. Let me find a property photo. I'm sure I have one somewhere. There's one. Okay. It's a property I'm in the process of selling. So we're going to do a just listed, just sold one. This is 1259 West Lake Street. All right. That is and then let's see, property photo, just sold to my buyer. And we got my home value. Link.com, agent name. Oops, I had a sticky key. Agent input. Brand colors. Yellow, black, and white. Oops, it doesn't look like yellow. There you go. Let's see. Logo. Let's see. I think I should have one. Logo. There's a logo. What else do we need? Seasonal theme. Spring market. Looking for more sellers. And a, let's see. Please create a just sold postcard that is 8.5 by, actually it's try horizontal. Let's try horizontal, see what it comes up with. All right, so this is everything it needs. 3 clean concepts to choose from. Concept 1, concept 2, concept 3. Seller opportunity. Okay, I like concept 1, so I'm just going to send a 1 in for now. All right, creating image. Let's see what it comes up with. Let's see, is this on the paid GPT plan? I do have a paid ChatGPT plan for $20 a month. So I do have Google Gemini as well, but we're going to go into Gemini in a second. So again, at the end of the day, AI is, I don't want to say AI is AI. We can argue there's differences, yes. But at the end of the day, right, to get started with it, which platform is best and this and that, I think it's highly overrated. It's almost like, if you have a contract and you're signing it with a pen, should you use a black pen? Should you use a blue pen? Should you use, whatever pen? I don't know, just a thought. So, all right, let's see what it came up with. Oh, boy, other than I got distorted. Probably going to take that one out. You distorted my image. Alter my. All right, anyhow. So this one is also, I could take my avatar image off and simply then put it on there with ChatGPT, with Canva. Just sold to my buyer in your neighborhood. Again, it's an okay one. Not sure why this one is blue, to be honest. It should be black. Looks more blue. Maybe it's just transparent. Also, I would move myself over there, but again, we'll see. It's gonna do a little bit more of revisions based on, I think, my input. Nope, still doesn't look like. So I probably take myself off and add myself on it later and then call it a day. So I feel like GPTs have been doing this lately to distort ourselves with faces, but it's a lot better than what it was a year ago. So that would be, the ideal, like, can you put this one on there? But I can add one of my faces in Canva as an overlay. So, all right. Next up, moving back to these slides, I'm going to share with you how to create infographics. No crazy faces allowed. So we don't have to worry about that with numbers, which is nice. But that was the latest fix they've done, is to make sure that actually the letters and numbers are coming out to be. So this one is how creating infographics with AI. It is very step-by-step. There might be a couple steps to look into that take you to see it twice. Okay, so let's go through it step by step.
Step 1, pull your hyperlocal data or use a GPT like the one from Rumvu for city data. Look at price changes, inventory shifts, days on markets, or anything that reflects movement. Bonus points if you dig deeper and feature data in your neighborhood specifically. Homeowners really care about what is happening on their street, right? Step 2.
All right. So this one, again, this is a GPT created by a company called Rumvu. And what I just liked about it is I liked their data output. So if you look at the way they are listing the data, it's pretty nice. Now you can also just give it, this as a base and then use your MLS data. That's the other one that we have here, because I will tell you, this GPT is not super accurate when it comes to neighborhoods. And it's also behind, because any platform is behind. We talked about this yesterday. It's not the MLS, right? It's not real data that you and I are looking at. So it is a behind 30-day model. And I just think it's, you have to decide what kind of data you want to put out. But this will give you everything you see here returned. So what I'm highlighting here is copy and paste it to the T straight from that output. All right, next.
Step 2, turn that data into a clean visual postcard. You can use Canva, there's Geessential templates, or AI tools that create simple charts and bullet lists with relevant headlines that catch attention. You can use neighborhood names. Clarity beats cleverness here.
All right, so this one, again, just copy pasting it. In this case, somebody said I have Google Gemini. I just put this one into Nano Banana, which is for Gemini, and it put the output back here, which is pretty usable, honestly. My file just said create an infographic in my brand colors. And then if you want to insert the hex code right here, right? And then here's the data for the infographic, and you just paste what was returned. Final step.
Step 3, add a dynamic QR code that links to the next step. This most often is a super simple lead capture form or an instant home evaluation site. This works because it positions you as the person who understands the market better than anyone in their inbox.
Okay, so that was me going through it. How about we do a live run? I think when you have the opportunity to just go through it live, it might help seeing some stuff. And again, I never know what comes out of it, so it's always like, yeah, let's just give it a try. All right, let's see if I can go back and share my screen. All right, everybody sees that? Perfect. So again, the GPT that was mentioned is when you explore your GPTs, you can just type in the word room view. It says real estate content. So start chat. And then there, create market update for my city. I'm going to click on that. And then it's going to ask me, of course, first, okay, what's your city? And again, it is very broad. So if you're looking at neighborhoods, I'm not in love with it. So to create, first, I need your location. So Hoffman Estates, Illinois. And then it's going to ask if I can allow this connection between GPT and Rumvu. Fine. All right. So here, as you can see, we are right now in April. And when I say they're 30 days behind at least, you see they're February 2026. That is the most up-to-date I can currently get. Like, I cannot do anything else about it. It's going to put the prices, days on market, what this means. So this is currently the output it gave me. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy this one. I'm going to bring that over into my Gemini and share this tab. Hello, Gemini, create an image. And now I'm going to go ahead and paste the data. So there's all that data that it just gave me. And then let me just get my prompt, copy and paste it from my slides. Not that I'm lazy or anything, but you know, we're going to get that one. Paste it in there. All right, paste data, did that. Colors, black, yellow, and white. And you can use hex codes as well if you're super specific. So all I did was put that in, hit submit, and let's see what they come up with. It's like, you know, the spinning circle. I don't know about you, but I love watching somebody else work. Like, I know we made fun of our children watching, you know, like Ryan's World or whatever not, where he was literally unpacking stuff. And you're like, seriously, you're watching other children play? And now we're like the same. We're like watching GPTs play in front of us. So let's see what it comes up with in terms of an infographic. Start thinking, all right, there it is. So this one here is the infographic it returned. Honestly, not terrible. So let me make it bigger so you guys can see. Okay, so you see here what this means. Prices on the rise, inventory and supply, days on the market, average 67 days. Again, disclaimers, right? Obviously, but I would remove the background. For me, it's just too busy of a background. Put my avatar next to it. This itself, if I had tried to do that in Canva, would have probably taken me quite some time. So again, knowing what to send is half the battle, right? Was this helpful? Yes? No? Maybe so? Let me know. And we're going to finish up on today. Let's see. Share this tab.
Step 3, add a dynamic QR code that links to.
Did that. And then all I would do is I would just put this here into the template. Let's see. Present. Okay, now we're back. So I would just drop this one into the template and have my avatar image on the side, have my CTA on the bottom, and it's good to go, ready to go out. Shouldn't be complicated, right? So again, this one, I've just been sending my market update mailer looking like this for the longest time. So that's what I create. It's very neighborhood specific. So I guess that's the downfall on using the easy button. You will get outdated data, because this one just says February 2026. It's better than nothing, right? At the end of the day, it is better than nothing. I prefer my data. I do quarterly updates. So I want to go all the way to the end of the quarter. That's why I put more effort into it. It's one of my number one pieces to send. So again, I do a little bit more work on the back end for mine. But if you're looking for an easier button, right, this is a fantastic something to at least get out. All right. So the number one question I typically get, but what's on the back? So let's go through the back real quick. It has a very similar layout for every single one of my postcards. We do have a banner that is prompting them to take action. We have a hook in terms of a headline. We have an emotional connection. How do we bring them into the story? We have a bridge over to our unique mechanism, what makes us special, right, essentially, and then a CTA to get them to take the next step. So that is the flow on the back, something that you can use for every single one of your home value statistic mailers. Your home value changed again over the last few years. I sat down across many homeowners, their eyes widened disbelief. Right now, we're seeing this again, but not for the reasons you might think. Yes, the market has changed, and with it, the approach that is needed to get results. After having a quick discussion and seeing the unique action plan for their home, we got to work. I went ahead and pulled your updated home value based on the new data. Have a look here. So again, something similar you can use. Feel free to tweak it to make it into your words, but easy enough to put on the back. All right. Last call, by the way, for your testimonial videos as well. So for those of you that would like to submit something, last time I will show you the questions, I promise. Google review, I know, Samantha, I saw yours. Thank you so much. Overachievers, happy to have both prices your way. I want to talk a little bit. I told you yesterday, we talked about Ryan Serhan already. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what real estate influencers really think about direct mail. And I say really think because some of the biggest names in real estate have actually started with direct mail and they just forgot about it. I don't know if they just forget about it or they're just not, saying the whole story at this point anymore. But I kind of want you to listen in on a couple of these. And I thought it was really interesting. So when I hear somebody say direct mail, my ears perk up. It's just, I'm wired this way. But yeah, so let's listen in.
So, but I've been mailing now for 14 years. So, it took a long time to get there. So don't overthink it. I started with just 500 homes. And here, I'll show you where we've gotten, so where we are right now, so that you can have a better understanding of what that looks like, what you should be shooting for, because I strongly believe in mailers, because I get to interview some of the most amazing agents. And I can tell you those agents that have a business that is now a career, they have two things that they do often. Number one is they build relationships through constant communication. And the other one, believe it or not, is some type of mailing.
So this one here was Tristan Amada. He is the owner and creator of Lab Coat Agent, definitely a voice in our industry, huge on social. So if you're in the group, great interaction in that one. If you're not in the group, check it out. I like that one. Now here's another one.
So let me challenge you with this. If roughly 10 to 15% of my friends are moving this year and 100% of people I know someone who's moving, what if I were just to send everyone I know one direct mail postcard a month? It could be a holiday greeting, it could be anything that you want, it doesn't matter. But just sort of staying in touch with them would be very beneficial. See, direct mail is one of the best ROIs you're ever going to spend, especially when it goes to your database. And the reason for that is this. If you have roughly 100 people on your direct mail database, all 100 of them are going to get that piece of mail, regardless if it's a postcard or a letter. And if they pick up this piece of mail and they throw it in the trash, big deal. They just physically engaged with you, which is great for top of mind brand awareness. And that's exactly what branding and marketing is. So in this particular example, if I have 100 people in my database, all people that are living around me, friends, family, uncles, aunts, past clients, well, 10 to 15 of them are going to be moving this year. It's a mathematical fact, but yet all 100 of them have a referral from me. See, in real estate, over 80% of business is going to come from people you already know, you met in the past, or you personally run into, or that you worked with in the past. So people are going to use someone they know, like, and trust. The question is whether or not it's going to be you.
So this one here is Mike Cuevas. He's known as the marketing dude. Originally started in Chicago, then moved to California. But even him, somebody that's owning a video marketing company, is like, you should do direct mail. Like, it works. That is another big one where I always think it's interesting when people have a product, they don't necessarily talk about the other things that they do. Another one.
So one of the best ways to get listings is going to be leveraging direct mail. There's a lot of pros and cons. I've sent probably 300,000 pieces of direct mail in one given month, but for about a 5-year span, I sent over 40,000 pieces of direct mail to almost every home in my city. And the reason I was able to do that was because it was extremely profitable. And not only was it profitable, it was the best thing that I did to get listings. What's going on, everybody? I'm Michael Reese, a digital marketing expert, an agent, and a real estate coach. And I teach realtors, team leaders, and brokers how to grow and scale their real estate business through digital marketing, content creation, and social media.
Okay. So some of you guys may know Michael Reese and Jay Kinder. They are fairly large on the social media strategy. And interestingly enough, sure, it certainly works, but the start to where they started was direct mail. So when this one, I don't even know where this one was. It must have been one of their YouTube videos or something. But I'm like, why are you not talking about that, right? It goes back to the same thing I said before, right? You have to have a foundation. If you are starting to build what they are teaching today, you're missing the foundation. Right? And that foundation is it's a business bound to crumble. That's a big part of why I always tell people, geographic farm, past clients, have a system, then build it up, right? You need to have a foundation to build from.
I want to start with the following. And I actually want to see it. By the way, I saw a wonderful comment here. Hey, I'm using mailers, and at the moment, with 5,000 of them, I'm seeing a 10 times ROI, aka spend $1, make 10, and I'm raising my 2 small kids along the way. The difference came from the shift from prospecting to marketing. Life changed. So Janine Sasso, who wrote that in there, Janine, congratulations, my dear. That's all we're talking about.
So a big part here is I tried a couple of years back, I tried traditional coaching models. And that was I call it my $15,000 video to fame. Inside my 1 year was Tom Ferry. It was just not what I needed, right? I did not need a 15-minute phone call that was saying, how was your week? What did you do? I didn't need that accountability. Like I show up for my business, right? And then the next 15 minutes of my phone call were spent with, okay, what are you going to do the next week, right? I'm like, I didn't need that. I have a to-do list. I know what I need to do. I want the step-by-step to get me faster. So I think a big part of that is I needed to decide for myself what type of coaching I wanted. And I realized I didn't want to coach. I wanted a partner, right? I wanted a partnership where somebody was saying, you know what, let's build. Here's how I did this. Take the playbook and do amazing. That was the goal for me.
Second, because I've watched you talk a little bit about direct mail, and you said something that direct mail marketers would think about mail this way, and that is you look at direct mail and you're sending it out, and let's say you're sending out however often you're sending out, does every campaign need to be a home run? Do you need to get leads from every campaign, or do you view direct mail as this thing where you just have to always be there?
Consistency versus intensity. So you do one direct mail campaign, no one reaches out. Direct mail is the worst thing ever. Total waste of money, obviously. Same way if I were to do one billboard or one commercial. people need to be hit over and over and over again. I don't think you and I have to rehash that entire, ethos there. But you have to be consistent. So for us in my line of work, we're doing direct mail to people and we're hitting them every single month. Okay. Now, if I had the stomach for it, or if my business was a little bit different, maybe if I didn't have the social reach we do and all that stuff, I might be hitting people every week. The more they see you, the more they throw you away, the more I'm sending them something that basically is saying, by all means, throw this away, just letting you know how successful I am. Right? The fact that I can afford the postage, I can afford the postcard, that I haven't gone completely digital to save money. I'm still hitting you in your inbox, in your home, because the home is the most important investment you're ever going to make, so on and so forth. It goes a long way. And I cannot tell you the amount of times people have reached out to us over the 15 years I've been in this business and said, I got a postcard from you. You send me things all the time. Clearly you're selling a lot. Because I could send the same mailer for a year and just change the photos. It's the same success story told 12 different times. And it would send a separate success signal to that potential customer over and over and over again. And I like to switch.
Okay, so here is the Ryan Serhan part I told you about, we're going to talk about. I was very surprised to see him as a keynote. I already said that yesterday. I did not realize, and again, some of you are like, what? Yeah, he does a lot of mail, actually. And a big part of this is because what he says that really stuck with me is the fact that I have not gone completely digital and I can still afford to pay money for postage, right? And that alone does send a signal to a person's brain saying, man, he must be doing well, right? So it's a big part here that I think he doesn't need to necessarily probably do it, but he understands the importance of it because it is a success signal. So again, like him or don't like it, this is not what this is about, but somebody at his caliber with his social media reach, still believing in direct mail. Again, it was a really surprising keynote, which turned out to be really a good keynote to watch. So that is that. And then he also said the success signal for one story told 12 different times. A lot of times when I send something to my past clients, it's almost like a business card. I'm almost handing them a business card, right? So again, a lot of really good points here to take away from.
Here's the thing I want to tell you, and that is farming is everything. Building your farm territory should be a fundamental concept that everybody should do. I know in my life, this is the way I've built my business, and I couldn't expect anything less from you. So pay attention. When it's all said and done, go back and get started.
All right, Gary Keller. Obviously, we all know him. Farming is fundamental. I mean, he's built an incredible company up from, next to nothing. So really amazing. So for some of you guys, the official bootcamp is officially ending here. Some of you guys, I'm inviting to stay on with me, and I'm going to show you my back-end system that allows me to roughly work 10 hours a week. No joke, I'm highly automated on the back end with a proven and repeatable system, and it works for me 24/7, which is kind of fun. So again, I just wanted to make sure that for those of you that just needed the info, good to go. For the rest of you that want to peek and see what this all looks like, we're going to go a little deeper for the next probably 30 to 60 minutes. Now, when I look at people coming through the bootcamp, I typically get 3 people. Information collector, somebody that has gone through this bootcamp before and just needs the information retold. You guys see how there's a lot of info. And feeling motivated is a big part of this, right? A lot of you guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. And then you leave, day takes over. Next week is going to be back to status quo. It just happens. I know it happens. Nothing really changes at the end of the day, right? This is what happens when we collect information that we don't do anything with. Then we got the DIY builder. This was me. I was the DIY builder. And when I looked at something, I'm like, I can figure this out. I looked at a book. Actually, this is how this very first book came about. I'm like, I want to write a book. So I could figure out how to write a book. And that's what I did. It was actually, I was looking at a company that was giving real estate agents access to books on a subscription model. And I'm like, I'm not paying $500 a month for a book. That's craziness. So that's what sparked this. So DIY builder, that was me for quite some time, from templates to systems, mailers, CRMs, funnels, etc. And some of this actually works. It just takes some time, right? It actually took a couple years of trial and error to get it down to a science, but it works. So, and then there's also the system installer. And I'm currently finding myself migrating into that a little bit more, especially for my business operations. Can I figure out business operations? Sure, I'm sure I could. Will it take me a whole lot longer than if I was just to plug into somebody else? Right? So one of the pictures you saw, Ryan Dice, he owns a company called Scalable, and I'm currently in the process of system installing with their company. And it's just simply because they've had multiple exits that they've done. They have scaled companies with teams, right? Can I go ahead and figure it all out? Probably. And I'm going to make a heck of a ton of mistakes, right? And I don't want to waste that time. That's really just at the end of it what it is. So I'm falling into two categories. You will fall potentially into two categories. Your categories might change over the lifetime of your career, but every one of us is generally falling into one or two categories. And I do think that results on our quarter will depend on our actions. What do we do, right? So choice one, log off, take the action we covered, and go and figure it out. Two, take the proven path, put everything in line the way we tell you to put it in line. So regardless of the option, are you okay looking at the back end of my business? I will literally show you everything that is running my business for birthdays, anniversaries, follow-ups, referrals. I want to talk about referrals if you want. Like, do you want to look at that? Yes? Let's go. Okay. I think it's sometimes helpful to just see what that looks like. Because again, we talked in the beginning, right, about what this might be while you're here. No time. How many of you feel time strapped? I know I do this week for sure, because I'm running our live event tomorrow and Friday, and I had a boot camp, right? And I'm going to do our mastermind next week in Florida. But time strappedness is a real thing. Like, how is it that we seem to be so much more connected and we are such time-starved people? The other problem, right? Farming, my phone is blowing up. Yeah, it's crazy. But are we jumping when the phone blows up, or do we have a system in place? Right? Does your doctor office jump the minute their phone blows up, or do they have a system in place? This is so-and-so office, hold please. Anyhow, farming feels expensive. It's just a matter of really, farming itself is not expensive. It's just all the systems that you think you need making it expensive. And then the start and stop, right? Busy, busy, busy. And all of a sudden, other people are telling you when to do something because they're in charge of your time. So I think that's a big part of, you have to figure out, is this something you can control? Can you take charge of this? Like, I've always looked at problems and I'm like, how can I change something? I'll give you an example. For me, my household is one thing that doesn't make me money, right? I'm like, doesn't make me money. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time on my household. I like a nice house, though. I like a clean house, right? I like an organized house. I like to come home and everything has its place. But it's like, it takes effort. It takes effort. So what I did a couple of weeks ago is I hired a house manager. And it's been the most amazing experience ever, right? So now it's not a matter of, oh, I'm going to start what I'm doing. I'm going to start laundry. I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop what I'm doing here for work, right? So I think it's a big part of really, how can we fix the issues we are facing? And that is what this is all about at the end of the day. So I told you all the things we're going to go over. There's a lot of them. So again, I'm assuming probably going to take us close to 30 minutes or so. I'll try to browse through as many of these things as I can. But if you want to go deeper, have questions, let me know. Like, I will slow down on something and I will go deeper. But this one here, we call it our mailer bootcamp special. And this is not a bootcamp. This is not another bootcamp. This is access to GeoCentral for 90 days. So GeoCentral is what runs my real estate business. GeoCentral is the operating system that is running everything I do, or actually everything I don't do. Okay, so if I have a client's birthday, it sends out these things. I don't do it. I actually just had an agent. So again, look at my stories today. She just tagged me in it today. I didn't send that. And she knows I didn't send it. But she feels thought of. She feels special because of it. And she should be. She's one of our members. And I do make sure that one of our members always feels special, first of all. So, but that is where I think a 90-day test drive is what the goal is here, right? So the bonus we put on there is thanks to my team. So I've had a lot of agents that came through and they said, okay, I can build all your systems. And we did. We give them, let's see, where is that? We give them what we call a playbook. There you go. This one here is what we call a playbook. And we said, okay, everything is in here. You want to build a birthday automation? No problem. Let's see, where is birthday? Logging in. Oh, selecting a farm. Somebody said they need to select a farm. Selecting a farm, that's in there. Let's see. You want a birthday. There. So what you see here is the entire playbook to create a birthday system, okay? And the first 2 years, they're like, you can do it, right? You can put that in. Well, it turns out real estate agents are busy. And they're like, I really want to sit down and do this, but my buyers keep calling. I got to show this property. My dog needs to go to the vet. I have to do laundry. And all of these things came up, right? And they're like, okay, like if they can't do it, what can we do? How can we help you put this system in place? And this is what this bonus really does, okay? So the question, I think it was Gloria that asked it, like, is this all going to be done? Yes. So my team will literally do all the system creations for you. Literally what they put in place is insane. I have on the website, you see if I have to do it, me personally, right? I have people who are like, Janine, can you do it? I'm like, I could, but I will charge you a ton of money for it. So my team said, train us, let us know what you do when you do that, and we'll take it over. So every single person on my team is personally trained by me, and they know exactly what to do. From welcoming you to making sure you have access, all the way to designing your first postcards, all the way to making sure your birthday automation is in place, all the way to making sure your anniversary automation is done, making sure your postcards are created. They do every single thing for our members right now. It is like amazing. So by the time that they are done creating this, all we hand over is a running system. Okay? Build it for me. All I have to do is find a farm. Yes, we want you to find a farm. I can't do that part for you. I can help you get your list in there, but I can't pick your farm. I just don't know enough about your area. So, and where you want to be, frankly, right? So that's the part that you have systems that are operating. That's a big part, because when you don't have systems and everything is in your head, nobody can really take the ship, right? So that's the part. So let's walk through it. What is really happening on the back is for us a farming OS, right? OS standing for operating system. And the farming OS is not just farming. It also reaches over into your past clients. If you remember that little graphic, I don't know where my sticky note is. It's like a napkin that came up. The concept came up. But when I look at, let me see, I'll just redraw it. When I look at my SOI, and then I look at my farm, okay, those two pillars, remember when I said one feeds the other? So if I sell a house in my SOI, I can then leverage that money inside my farm. If I sell something in my farm, I now have a new past client that is feeding my SOI, meaning I can get more referrals. And out of this came this little loop saying SOI farm, SOI farm. So that's the part where GeoCentral is two systems running as one: past client retention and geographic farming, right? You cannot neglect your past clients. Like, this is the number one thing for businesses. When you go and purchase something, let's say at Costco, right? Most of us have a Costco membership probably. What does Costco do every single month? It sends you their little booklet, right? That little booklet with all their deals. I haven't been inside a Costco in over a year, but they understand it's going to be a lot better for their money if they send me the booklet as if they were to send it over to Betty next door, who doesn't even have a Costco membership. So that is a big part of why this system is literally the most profitable there is. Because we're not just looking at your farm. This is not just you spending money on cold leads, but you're also getting referral and retention set up. Make sense? Okay. And the big part is we want you to become that recognized listing agent in your neighborhood. I told you in the beginning, it is not all altruistic. I want to have hyperlocal agents to refer to. When I have a client that wants to go to California, to San Diego, into a specific area, I want to be able to tell my client, you're going to have to talk to this agent over there because they know the area like no other one, right? That is the part that I want at the end of the day. So a big part of past clients are one of the easiest systems. I told you my system. I showed you every single thing, right? Straight out of the book. So if you have paid attention, my playbook, my SOI playbook, I literally have shown you my SOI playbook. Right? Here you go, right in the book. We talked about this one. Past client, they're going to get a happy birthday. They're going to get a happy home anniversary. And then when they get a referral, we train them by giving them a thank you. This is not a bribe. We don't advertise it, but we give them a thank you so they will do more of what is desired. It's kind of like that. I think I brought the analogy, the mouse in the maze, right? When you have the little mouse going through the maze, and if they do a right turn, they get a treat. And if they do the wrong turn, they get shocked. They learn by getting the treat that this is the right thing, right? All right. So that is what a farming OS is going to encompass. 2 pillars. So we're going to talk about both of them. Really think about this as installing an operating system, not for your phone, not for your computer, but for your actual business. And when you look at the franchise model, right? McDonald's as a franchise, they are so successful because the franchise model is repeatable. This is not, oh, let's figure it out from scratch. It's a repeatable business model. Franchises are actually much more likely to succeed. And then once it's installed, it really, again, action-based, it really runs in the background. So if you remember Amy farmed for 4 years. I did go on one of our calls, and I always ask people, share a win. I want to hear a win. And that might be personal, that might be business. And oftentimes I'm not looking for outcomes. Outcomes sometimes happen, but I also want to see the action. So here's what she acted. Again, action-based. Amy is ready. I love it.
I got 2. Action-based. I got my CMA. I was doing envelopes. I upgraded to the box. So the boxes look really good. Last week I was actually on vacation and I was so worried to be gone. And my postcards arrived while I was gone. My phone's going ding, ding, ding. I got 18 scans while I was gone. I was on a cruise too. Was able to schedule a listing appointment while I was gone. So on Monday I had the listing appointments and they're going to go with me. They just need to sign the paperwork. So all from postcards. So yay.
That's amazing. And you were gone on a cruise and you know your follow-up was happening. I mean,
yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels, I was so worried. I'm like, oh, what about my business? Oh no, I was so worried, but it was perfect. It was great. So the system's amazing. So yeah, that was my 4th month. So yay.
All right, happy camper over there. I will not promise you a listing appointment. I will tell you that flat out. I will never promise listing appointments because I do not control people's action. I'll give you the example. I have somebody that I talked to and they said, hey, Janine, yeah, we will be moving, but not until my wife's mom, who we're taking care of, has moved on with life, right? I'm not in charge when this person dies. So they will not move, no matter what I try, say, and do, until their time is there. But we generally can tell people, we have proven it over and over, we will get you leads on mailing one. When I hear people say, oh, it takes 12 months, I'm like, no. Like, she's got on her first mailing 26 leads. On this one she's done, she had 18. And she was on a cruise. And her follow-up was happening. And that was month 4. So again, does it take 12 months? No. Leads, that's the easy part. Literally, like, we do that on mailing one, generally speaking. And they're real people. You go in the tax records, you see that person listed. Okay. So that's a big, big part. Now, if you have a better, stronger presence in your farm already, it's like icing on the cake, literally. Like, she was in like dabbling with it. We've had brand new people that never ever were heard from. That was actually our case study. She moved into a neighborhood and started farming it, and she became the #1 agent there. So it doesn't really matter, because people do not pay as much attention to real estate as you think they do until they need it. Okay. But that's really the feeling we're after. We want somebody to feel like, I can go on vacation and my business is not burning down to the ground because I'm not paying attention. Before I had a system running my real estate business, if I wanted to go on vacation, I either needed to work ahead on my, birthday follow-ups, on my anniversary cards, or I needed to catch up when I came back. Neither one of them was really a great solution, frankly. So again, for us, GeoCentral is an entire geographic farming and client retention system. So it's both things. Playbooks. So yes, the question was, do you get the playbook I was showing you? Yes, you have access to the playbook. You can literally see what we're building on your behalf, step by step. This is just so you see the thickness of this thing. And this is very detailed, but my team builds out a 134-page manual for you. Like, all of this here, it's literally a manual. They're setting funnels live. It's been amazing. So, all right. So that's templates for the postcards are in there. We talked about the scripts, email drips, gifting automations. I'm going to go into a couple examples so you can see the visuals with it. So first, we talked about the direct to print path, right? Cutting out the middleman. That is a big part of why people think of me when they think about postcards, because I talk about postcards a lot. Postcards are the tactic for me to get leads, right? This is for me to get hand raisers. This is where people raise their hand and they're like, I actually need to talk to you, right? Or I have something in mind for real estate. And GeoCentral does unlimited free printed postcards. And I always get asked, how is this even possible? It's possible the same way that Costco is able to sell the goods at their pricing. I keep bringing up Costco today, so clearly I got to go there. But that is the same model, right? They do not make their money on the goods. They actually lose money on their chickens. You know that, right? Why do they have the chickens all the way in the back? Anybody know? So you can go all the way to the back of the store and all the way back the other side, because they know that if they get you to walk all the way to the back and all the way to the front, that there's a chance you might be buying something. So they lose money on their chickens, but they actually are making money because you get sidetracked and buy something else. It is like brilliant. Love their model so much. But what they make their money on is really what? Memberships, right? I have a Costco membership, and I've told you that I have not been in Costco for over 12 months. So that is the same kind of model. This is why we can do it. And the big part here is use it. Like, it's not hard to get your money worth. How do you get your money worth? You send out a postcard. So we have, like, for example, somebody in our Light program. And if she doesn't use it, right, it just benefits everybody else. Do I think everybody should use it? Absolutely. You have to really make it work. And if you're not using something, I'm the first person to tell you, if you don't use it, lose it. I had a member, she's like, Janine, I love everything you're doing, but it's just, I haven't been using it, right? And I'm like, if you're not attending any of the extra trainings, it's like real estate school. Think about the boot camp. That's what we do once a week in there, whipping people into shape. If you're not attending any of the free trainings, if you're not attending any of the workshops, if you're not taking advantage of any of the tools, right? What is the point in having it? There is none. Use it or lose it. It's the same principle that we gave you on the VIP. Use it or lose it, right? And this is why the direct to print path is just really important. Use it, put it to work. It's going to be the best thing in your business. And I will say it is hands-on, right? So printing the postcards itself will set you up for the first year, and you can repurpose them. But if you want to bring in some of your own models, like, we want you to still learn how to operate it, right? It's like getting a car. It sounds great to be driven around all the time, but sometimes when you just need to go to the grocery store, just get in the car and drive. So we're still going to teach you how to operate the print portal. Now, this is what we talked about during the boot camp, right? My cost of calendar was the example. What happens when you have a middleman inserting themselves? Sucks. So we cut the middleman, and essentially just our direct mail piece is a first class stamp. So that is the 8.5 by 5.5. That's 78 cents. And then we do have a 4x6 that is also printing free, and that's a postcard stamp, and that's 61 cents. Okay, so it's super affordable. Let's see. That's how I do a lot of this, a lot of my mail. Now, the gifting loop, that's where I saw a couple people saying my past client follow-up is horrid. So this is a social media shout out. I generally get these quite a bit. People are like, oh my gosh, thanks so much for thinking of me. I had another client that messaged me yesterday or today saying, thanks so much for the brownies. I can't believe you thought about me, right? And this one is just really amazing. Set it and forget it. It goes out. I don't even know it went out. And all I get is thank you messages left and right. The anniversary loop is very similar. We have, and then again, this first text message goes out if you have a GeoCentral number. If you don't want one, that's fine. It just wouldn't be able to auto text your past clients. So I have one, and it just says, hey, need something to celebrate today. It's your home anniversary. Just thought I'd let you know. Again, it goes out. Doesn't matter when I do it. So that's kind of nice. Are there any other costs in the postcard stamps? Well, if you're doing gifting, there's a cost to that, right? I think I spent about $200 a month on my past clients, and I have about 150 or 200 of them on there. So my past client retention budget is about $2,400 for the year. But I don't know how many clients you have. So depends. If you got questions, let me know. I'll be happy to look at your numbers. And you can just do your top 10. Let's say you do your top 10, $80 for the year, roughly. Like these here send out to me for like $8 or $9 out the door. Like that's it. Yeah. If you don't have 200, like I said, I like to give you numbers and contacts because my numbers might be different than somebody else's. So, okay. And you can just do your top 10. You can just send a card. How about $1.50, right? Nope, we do not mask the number. I think it's also important that you have a business line. I think I talked about that yesterday. When you're trying to sell your business and it looks like your number, right? Your doctor has a business line. So we have a standard text message that we have everybody send out the first time. Hey, this is my business line. Things have been amazing, right? Everything has been growing. So I'm trying to grow my real estate business as well. And my cell phone still works, but I also wanted to make sure you have this number. Done. Easy, right? It's all a matter of how do you position it. All right, so that's the anniversary loop. Past client, home anniversary playbook, past client birthday playbook. All those two are installed in the setup part of it. Yes, they're in here. Yes, you get access to that as well to see it step by step on the build out. But all of these are completely built for you now for my team. referrals. How many of you have actually gotten a referral and then you thought, oh, I gotta send them something, right? You're like, that was so nice. I gotta stop and get a $25 gift card or whatever. And then you did, or you didn't, because many times I don't, because I got busy and then I forget because I'm a terrible person and I should really thank them. And I don't mean anything by it. It's just, I forgot. I got busy. So I think it's a big part of us having a system in place to actually do something. So this one here is what we do when people send in a referral. I go on my phone, I pull up my GeoCentral app, I tag them, thank you gift, and it sends out. It's fantastic. And then people send in messages because my system will automatically send a follow-up. It says, hey, I wanted to thank you one more time and hope you received my package. And that's where the reply comes in. I got the salad forks. Thanks so much. And the salad forks, by the way, are, there they are. Thanks for tossing my name around. I wanted to make sure I sent you a quick note to say thank you. I will make sure your people are in great hands. She sent her dentist my way. So kind of fun. Or here's another cheesy one. It's a pizza cutter. Any way you slice it, you're amazing. I wanted to make sure I sent you a quick note to say thank you for your referral. I'll keep you posted along the way. Again, all of these here are actually also out the door, less than $20. So now put that in comparison. I can send them a gift card, $25 gift card, which you and I know what's going to go. How far does a gift card of $25 go this year? Not very far, right? And it comes in a little card. And you're like, okay, little card, little gift card inside, right? This here comes in a box. So not only do I spend less on my thank yous, I also have a bigger impact. Because if you compare a card to a box, right? Bigger is better kind of thing. Mine looks just simply more. It just looks more extravagant. It just looks like I put more effort in it, which I really didn't. And I paid less. So, makes sense? Okay. So the GeoCentral number is our second line, if you like it, right? And texts come to your personal phone, right? Yeah, you can also have your text message go to your GeoCentral number for leads, but I have mine come to my personal cell phone. So, and my GeoCentral number is linked to my phone, so I see all of that there, but you can forward that to all your phone. That's not a problem. So we get all this, and they built the system. Yes, isn't that amazing? And I'll tell you why. I got tired of telling people, have you completed your playbook? I'm a builder. Like by trade, you saw the 3 agent types. I'm a builder. I will literally sit down and build. And I assumed all the agents were like me. So I'm like, what do you mean you can't just sit down and build it? They're like, I don't know. I don't get it. So I got tired of saying playbook and I started installing it for people. And it's very time consuming. And then my team said what they said, let us do the work. So yes, even with the box, inside the box, I think I have pricing on some of them. Let's see if I got pricing on them. The pizza cutter, I want to say was like $18 out the door. I will find the pricing. I can pull it up. It's on my print account, order history. Let's see. And I just sent the salad tongs not that long ago too. I will say shipping will depend where you are located in the country. We do ship, our facility is in Utah. The closer you are to Utah, the better off you are. I am in Illinois, so Chicago, for those of you that are around my marketplace. But that is based on my shipping. And I feel like I'm not the furthest away. So our New York, Florida people, I will say some of them have a little longer shipping times. We'll talk about the shipping time in a second. I'm trying to log in. You know when you type a password and you're like, let's not mess up? Okay. All right, order history. Let's see. Pizza cutter. Let's see. Thank you gift. Trying to find one. Trying to see what I named it. Let's see, birthday. No, it's a birthday gift. Let's see, I know Monica got one. So Monica got the salad hands. And her salad hands, thank you gift one, there it is. Out the door were $16.75. That was the salad hands. So that is the item and the postage. And that is to Illinois, $16.75. And I just sent that to her in January. All right, and then let's see what the other one says. The other one, I think there's a thank you gift too, which is the pizza cutter. Thank you gift 2. I sent one out in, that was last May, which is not that far, but the pizza cutter ended up being $13.86. That is the item, and that is the postage in the box. Okay. All right. Maryland, Georgia, yeah, I mean, it's not long. You'll see it on the map in a second. So this was now to Chicago. Yeah, even with the box, it was still under 25. Isn't that kind of cool? And it was all automated. So, all right, I'm already in a VIP. Does it mean I have it all for 120? We upgrade your portal. So you get your portal for 90 days. So now that 30 days doesn't roll over because it's a different tier. You have access to only the postcards right now. All right, is there a closing gift automation? Yes, there is, actually. There's an entire closing gift automation. I can show you mine as well. Mine is $144 plus postage for 3 years to entice them for referrals. So that's a fun one too. I should put that one in here. All right, moving on. There's a lot more to cover. So that's just the referral gifts. It's nice to just tag them. Are there closing gifts? Yes, they are. Some of these here are just examples of closing gifts that we have put together. There's like a really cute charcuterie board. There's a movie package. That's the pizza slicer and like a how-to charcuterie board one. And then the wine lover one does not come with wine. We will not ship alcohol. Okay, so couple different ways to go about it. You could obviously send it to them after you closed. So this way they get it in a week. And instead of you needing a reason to reach out, they'll be like, oh my gosh, we got this in the mail. This was so nice, right? Awesome. Or they've got the, let's see, you can order it to your office and then you can just put a bottle of wine in it and bring it to closing with you. Would be another option, or to your house. Doesn't have to be to your office, right? So that's the closing ones. All right, we're gonna go through it a little bit faster. I'm like getting so I can talk about this all day. Literally, it's like the coolest thing since sliced bread. The Learning Lab, again, stop buying courses. Frankly, honestly, right? Workshops, walkthroughs, strategy blueprints, tailored for real estate agents. We're talking about how do you publish a book? Okay. Book publishing, literally me publishing a book. I've gone through it, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times. So when I have agents who are like, I want to publish a book. Let's see, where's my book? Selling Your Home, right? Simply publish yours and give it away like a business card. Comment automation. How many of you have heard about ManyChat before? Social media comment automation. Yeah, we do that, just not with ManyChat. We do that inside GeoCentral. So when I look at, do I need something extra? I don't, because I can do it within the system. Pre-listing boxes. How many of you have looked at box assemblies? My box, my pre-listing box, we talked about this briefly, is $7, by the way. And that includes a $3 book. So the cost for my box is so efficient, where I think I highlighted that already. I don't have to worry about, competition because they're spending $20 on theirs. Events, neighborhood events, that's a big, big part of what we teach and automate. So once you have something in it, I'll give you the example for my Easter event. I had all my Easter events, the emails written for the first year, right? So the next year, I just templatized it, made it into a template. And then the third year, all I did was lining them up in a sequence, push a button, and all of them went out. So if you look at like making your life easier, there is a progression, right? A level 1, a level 2, a level 3. Can you do all of this the first year? Sure, you could, but I only have so much time as well to do things, right? So it's like this year I'm going to spend time on creating my postcard templates. Next year I'm going to start spending time on this. So I think it's just a big part of progression. All right. So what does it look like? This looks something like that. There's over 70 different courses in there. It's a lot. Anything that you can think of is probably in there as a course. How do you create a buyer book from a buyer guide, right? I see a lot of these guides being pushed online. Pieces of paper will not make you money. If somebody comes with a seller guide, I'm like, yeah, I got a book. It's not even competition anymore, right? If somebody comes with a buyer book, a buyer guide, I'm like, yeah, I got a book, right? There is the Mother's Day campaign. Where's this one? Right there behind me. Let's see if you can see it. Like this entire one, right? We went through a sign campaign. This is currently what we're working on inside the group. There's a lot of our members that are working on their Mother's Day signs. So from the templates to the how-tos to the form collection, right? All of that is in there. How do you do it? Again, this is what the training hub is meant to do. This is not like, oh, it would be nice if you do it and then you go figure it out. That's not what we do. So this is where the Learning Lab is really amazing. Everything is in there step by step. We've done a calendar one, school calendars, because they're coming up again too pretty soon. So we'll be working on our school calendars again. And that's a very similar principle. How can you collect people from your neighborhood, not legally, but willingly, right? How will they willingly give you their information? That's a big part of it. Like, there's so many agents wanting to buy lists, right? And I'm like, do you want to be bought? Frankly, do you want to be bought or do you want to be earned? Can I earn your trust and earn your email? That is a different conversation. And that's a conversation hyperlocal agents have, right? So there's expired playbooks, for sale by owner playbooks, all of that. I think I told you guys the $2,500 course I bought, which clearly I was not too happy with so far, but we're going to squeeze everything out of it that I can, right? And when I just look at my course portal, these are like, how do you do mail 4 different ways? Like learning how to do that for the rest of your real estate career, like I would have paid $2,500 for that knowledge instead of me going through the rabbit hole of figuring it all out, right? But anyhow, we talked about the shock and awe boxes, books, presentations. So this here's my buyer box. Here's my buyer meet and greet. Here's my listing presentation. We're actually talking about making a deep dive course on listing presentations. There's a lot of people that need a little bit more skill set knowledge. So a lot of that is going to be put into GeoCentral this year is skills, right? There's tool set. I'm like, we're set on the tool set. Our tool set is amazing. Mindset, again, I'm not a coach. I'm German born, German bred, German raised. I'm much more on, whining is not going to do anything. Let's find the solution. So I'm very much solution oriented. How can we do it? So I'm not the greatest coach. I will tell you that one. If you need somebody to pat your back or, have a shoulder to cry, I will just look at, okay, what's the problem? How can I get to the solution? And that's generally what we do inside of there, right? So it's like, it's very action focused. And the listing presentation is in there already. So yeah, members have that one. So making it yours is a big part of giving a good presentation. I will say that. Because if I give you my bootcamp slides, right, it's like the same. If I give you my bootcamp slide and say, okay, go teach the bootcamp, I don't think that it would come out the same. So the listing presentation, the frameworks are in there, the sections are in there, everything is there. But it's like, I do suggest everybody would go through it and just make sure that you go through your examples, right? Yes, I need personalization. But a big part of like how it's structured, like that's what we're going to go through. There's actually a really big structure part to it that it sets you up also for the win, right? Yeah, and I enhance mine. If I find something, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Let me bring this in. I do that. Buyer box, okay, that's where the buyer boxes have evolved. I used to have a package, just a simple package that said, let me see if I have one. Like simple poly mailers, okay, so that was a custom branded poly mailer we had, and then it got upgraded to a box. So again, lots of fun stuff that we go through because some of you might not want a box. Some of you may want to just have a bag, right? So we teach you exactly the how-to, the websites, where do you go, what do you do. So that part is the what we teach you on it. That's the learning lab. Again, would a buyer box workshop or a seller box workshop be worth, right, what I paid for that course? I would have paid it, again, personally, learning all these things. We talked about the books. I showed you the books. I showed you the children's book. I showed you the selling book. I showed you the buying book. This one here is just showing you this buyer book. It had actually a lot of pages in there. And that one was a lot of like images, I should say. It has a lot of images in it because it came from a straight up buyer guide. And that one cost me $3.14. I will give that out as an open house every single day versus a business card. Here's a couple agents and books that we've done. This one here is my newest one, Selling Your Home During Divorce. I unfortunately had some people, yeah, the book only cost $3.14. See, when you know how to do it and you cut out the middleman, we are instilling knowledge. This is the goal. People are like, why? I'm like, because when you know, when you understand what to do, right, you don't need the middleman. So the Selling the Divorce book is fairly new for me, at least to use. So that's what I'm branching out. Hoping to branch out this year is to connect with divorce attorneys. So make them my army of ambassadors, my army of referral people. Because guess what? When they hand out Selling Your Home During a Divorce book to their potential clients, they just served them better than any other attorney would have, right? It gave them a resource. So there's that one. Moving out of state. I have a lot of people that move out of state. This one is not a book that I print. It's just a book that I, use in my videos and stuff of like, hey, if you're a Hoffman Estates homeowner looking to move, I actually just published this book, Moving Out of State. So if you don't know where to go, right? Anyhow, so that's that. Looks like Gloria. Welcome, Gloria. We're excited to get started. That means also we had somebody yesterday, you today. That means there's currently 8 spots left. And I'll go over why there's 8 spots. That's the learning lab for turning a buyer guide into a book. There's a learning lab for writing your own children's book. So we're going to go through the process, literally, how can you write a children's book with your own brand? So if you want to give it to your clients, we teach you how to change this lady here. Like if you wanted to make this a teddy bear instead of a bunny, or if you wanted to make it culturally acceptable, right? If you had a family that you wanted this child to look more like them. If you had somebody that has a child in a wheelchair, okay, I could change that. How many books, children's books, have you seen where there is a child in a wheelchair? Like going through this, I have an early childhood degree for those of you that are wondering, but if I have the ability to make something so good for somebody's experience and I can help their child see themselves in a story, right? So again, those are like the little things that I just noticed as I was going through the writing process. So we teach people how to do that one. All right, moving on. Content. The template shop. Again, the question was, do we get access to all the templates? Every single template I ever created is inside of there, and we continue to create more. as I go through them or as our members ask for them. So we have one right now talking about the pre-foreclosure part. We have one right now who's like working on pre-foreclosures and probate, actually probate. And one of the ones that he asked for, and I love that one, we got to get to that one, is essentially like a pardon our dust. And the pardon our dust was vacant homes. Okay, so depending on the pre-foreclosure part, but vacant homes. And that one was going to go out to the neighbors. And I'm like, the neighbors? I'm like, why? It's like, well, because sometimes when you have an unoccupied property, if the grass is too long, right, and you just want to be helpful, you send that out to the neighbors, and the neighbors are going to be like, hey, yeah, you know what? I don't know what's been going on over there, but there's been, you know, the grass is super long and we got your postcard that said to let you know. And that's what he does. Like if he takes probate listings, he actually will tell the neighbors around it, like, hey, if you see something that, you know, just think should need my attention, let me know. Or like if somebody has like boxes and boxes coming for your listings, right? And it's like vacant. The neighbors call, it's like, hey, the grass is too long, or there's so many boxes over there, or hey, I saw the light was on in the living room. Again, that's like the part where you're like, oh, this is so good. So again, we're going to be creating this one, and it came out of the request, but it makes it available for all of our users. All right, so that's the template shop in there. There's also, because we have a lot of funnels, there's literally like social media templates where you just promote, hey, if you're wondering what your, you know, San Diego home is worth, let us know. So there's social media graphics that go with it, which brings me to our funnels, forms, quizzes. That's all inside of the dashboard as well. It is, here you see a lot of them, a paint color guide, a moving guide funnel, a staging guide funnel. We've got the recipe tailgating for, what do you call it? Help My Landlord is Selling, Zero Renovation, 9 loan programs, quizzes. There's different quizzes in there. Home improvements, Bring Pictures Now, Seller Masterclass, that's the webinar. Buyer Masterclass, there's a webinar. Open house sign-in form, coming soon funnel, German guarantee funnel, case study funnel. And guys, those are all just the things that I ended up building over the years. Our vendor list, I really like our vendor list. I think I have a vendor list here. So what we do is we automate sending out our vendor list through GeoCentral. So when people are opting in from the neighborhood, they just literally get this one. So there's a lot of cool stuff. All right, the children's books. This is once we are about to do a listing presentation or whom they are new clients. I think it's your discretion. Like if I knew I had people where their child would have a harder time with moving, I probably would bring it to a showing, you know, with them. If I have a client who's a buyer and I know they have children, I think I would probably consider doing that for them as a closing gift, because do adults really need gifts? They just bought themselves a house, right? Congratulations. But it's like, if you put something like that out there and be like, hey, I know you said, you know, instead of Sam's home, it would have, like, you can put their name on there, John, right? Or Johnny, Johnny's new home. And you can just have them have that. Like, people will connect differently if you do something nice for their kids. So that's the business part behind it, right? I'm not a gift giver for the heck of gift giving. I am a fantastic gift giver when it comes to business purposes. So that's kind of like the thought behind it. All right. So that's all the pre-built landing pages. They're about 80% complete. So when we say 80% complete, if it's a guide, you got to personalize the guide to your, you know, to you. We will do 2 of them. We will do the funnel for the staging guide and for the moving guide. But the other ones, if there's like a paint guide you want, or the 9 loan programs, like all the templates are there. You just change it to your colors, put your name on it, right? And there's like a step-by-step on that. It's super easy. Like I can launch funnels in 5 minutes. So is there a new baby campaign? We actually had somebody that sent out one of our greeting cards as a congratulation for a new baby. And they took the pictures that the parents posted on social. So the parents posted the pictures on social. So she took those pictures off their social and then put it on a greeting card with a congratulation one. It was really cute. So there's that. We don't have any rattles in there, I will tell you that. There's no like baby rattles you can send. But there's other stuff where you can be like, hey. Drip campaigns. All right, let's talk about that one. Seller drip emails, buyer drip emails, and we're currently working on our recruiting drip. Recruiting agents, again, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm getting more and more people that have asked for, a meaningful recruiting drip. So working on it. So the drip campaigns are essentially all pre-written, and you just we will actually do your seller follow-up one, so you don't have to worry about this one. And then we are working with you on your buyer one. Okay. The AI-powered portal, that one is a fun one. And I always think I can show you what this looks like in real life. Let's see. So this video here, what you will see is our Santa campaign. Because GeoCentral is AI powered as well, we have an AI trained Santa voice. So your neighbors could simply call that number and you would get Santa. So what you're going to see in that video would be, ho, 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 this is Santa speaking, right? Why are we doing it? Because obviously for us, it's a lead generator because people have to call, meaning we would get their number, right? And then they're going to send in a Santa letter. So we have their address. So all of that good stuff. All right. We also get a recap on it. That's how I stay on top of my business right now while I'm here. Okay. Yes, you can transfer. Well, I don't know if you can transfer. You might have to copy and paste. So GeoCentral has CRM capabilities, but you may have to copy and paste it in for your own drips. Oh, is there an integration between? Yes, you can link it. Probably with Zapier, I will say that. So you probably would need CRM Zapier if you wanted to link it to the outside. But part of the setup is a final call where after we set up the basics of it, you have a final call at which you can say, okay, if a lead comes in, I want to make sure it goes over to this part. Again, it's up to you to decide, but that's on your final call. You make that final handover and installation call where you want what to happen. But it is a fully functioning CRM. So just a preference. We have members, most of our members use our CRM. There's a very, very few that are using Zapier to export out. But there are. I think there's one of our users is a follow-up or Lofty user, one of them. So most command people have abandoned command, I will say that. I don't know why. I've never been in command, but they said it's really hard to use. So anyhow, let's listen to Santa. We just finished building our Santa AI for the neighborhood, and we're gonna have them call in. So you call the number, and if everything goes well, Santa is supposed to answer.
Oh, Merry Christmas. This is Santa Claus speaking. Thanks for calling the North Pole. What's your name, my little friend?
Little Cindy Lou.
Well, hello there, Cindy. It's wonderful to hear from you. Are you getting excited for Christmas? Have you thought about what you'd like this year?
I have, but my name is Cindy Lou.
Oh, my apologies, Cindy Luke. Ho, ho, ho. It's lovely to chat with you. So tell me, what's on your Christmas wish list this year?
I really would like a dog this year, but Mom said no.
Ah, a dog would be such a wonderful friend. Sometimes parents have good reasons for their decisions. Maybe you could ask for something else that you'd enjoy just as much. What do you think?
I really like a doll that I can braid their hair too.
Oh, that sounds like a fun idea. Maybe you could ask for a doll with long hair to practice your braiding skills. Wouldn't that be exciting?
That would be fun, Santa.
Oh, oh, oh. That sounds like a perfect choice, Cindy. Dolls can be such great companions. Do you enjoy doing other creative things?
All right, so that was the example that we were working on for our Santa. This is for the kids to call. Yes, this was for the kids. So that's all good. Welcome, Samantha. All right. Yeah, so Santa AI is fun. And that was, again, a neighborhood campaign, right? Now, here's the part that I personally like as a business owner, because where have I been the last 2+ hours? It's here with you. Where have I not been? Answering my phones. Now, when I look at productivity, do you answer the phone when you're out and about with clients? Will you answer the phone when you're on a listing appointment? The answer is absolutely not, right? So let's see what this would look like for my, let's see, GeoCentral number. There you go. All right, let's do a live call. Let's see if that goes well. I call Santa as an adult and ask for lowering gas prices. You know what? We can ask my assistant Ashley about it. So let's see what this is gonna look like.
Hi, this is Ashley. I'm the assistant for Janine Sasso. How may I help you today?
Hey, Ashley, it's Janine. I'm here with a lot of real estate agents, and I would tell them I'm going to demo you and show them how you work.
Great, Janine. I'm ready whenever you are. Just let me know what you'd like to show or ask, and I'll walk through it with you and your group.
Well, what normally happens when somebody calls you for reaching me and I'm not available?
If someone calls looking for you and you're not available, I'll take a detailed message for you. I'll collect their name, contact number, and any important details about why they called. Then I let them know you'll follow up as soon as possible. That way, nothing gets missed and you can get back to them when you're free.
Awesome. And when you talk to people, how do they generally feel? Are they happy or sad?
Most callers feel comfortable and at ease. I keep things friendly and professional, so people usually feel heard and taken care of. If someone's frustrated or upset, I acknowledge their feelings and make sure their concerns are addressed quickly. The goal is always to leave them feeling supported, whether they're happy or having a tough day.
Awesome. And I also got another question from Gloria. She would really like to ask Santa to lower gas prices. And I told her maybe we can ask you if you think that's possible.
That's a fun one. I actually don't have any control over gas prices, so I can't help with that. My focus is on real estate, helping with buying, selling, or investing in properties. But if Gloria has any real estate questions, I'm happy to help with those.
Awesome. I'll let her know. Thanks, Ashley.
If there's nothing else, thank you for calling Janine Sasso's office. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
All right, so Gloria, there's your answer. Sadly, Ashley cannot help with gas prices. She can help with real estate related questions. But at the end of the day, I do get an email and we can look at the transcript together that I'm about to get, because everything that she just went through with me is going to be in my email inbox in the next minute. And then this way, it's already there. So let me go ahead and open this one up. And we'll just walk through it. Welcome to my email inbox. It's a mess. Please do not judge the 16,183 unread emails. We're working on it. But this one here is the call summary. Janine called her assistant to demonstrate AI capabilities. And it collected my name. It collected everything there's above. It's my phone number. And it also gives me a complete call transcript here. So you see this is all going through. So you can always see what was discussed, which I personally really, really like. It keeps me focused on what I focus on, right? And it keeps my business running while I do step away, right? So there's that. All right, we're all hoping that Ashley can change something about the gas prices. That is fun. But yeah, that is a big part, I think, when you look at, you used to have to hire a receptionist. And if you're looking at an individual real estate agent, how do you get more productive, right? How do you get to be the most efficient agent that's out there? big part of that is simply through AI. I think they just had the news released for the first $1 billion company, which is a one-man company powered by AI, which is amazing. So again, there's a whole lot more in there. And again, I saw the questions, is this a CRM? Is this a coaching program? And I will say, while it has all the components fully built out, it is a system for agents for geographic farming and client retentions and referrals. So when you look at a system is not one thing or the other. It's a compilation of a lot of things. So anything that you see here on the sidebar is essentially what GeoCentral has capabilities for. So email marketing. I used to use MailChimp personally. I paid $286 a month to MailChimp because I had a subscriber rate that was fairly high, and it was a lot, not gonna lie. So I'm like, I keep growing, I keep being punished by subscribers. So we are not subscriber-based, we're usage-based. And most agents, I think we talked about this yesterday, most agents operate on GeoCentral for like $3 to $10 a month. That's for like email, texting, premium features for like, sending leads from one place to the other. Like if you have Zapier in there, I don't know if Zapier is a premium feature. We just brought ChatGPT in there. So ChatGPT is token-based, for example. So the more AI you use, obviously, right, it's all token-based. We always caution people, don't go crazy on the AI. Yes, AI can write your emails, but, right? We put that number on our postcards, right? We use it for a lot of things. Here's another fun one. Text the word home value. Say home value, and then I'll give you the number, 35. Let's see. So if you have our phone number, just text the word home value, 950-3580. There. Let me blend it in. So there's another fun use case. We have a home value postcard we've tried where neighbors could really just text a keyword, right? And we have it on a writer, like somebody could text it on a sign writer. It would work too. But this one here, if you try that one, it's a fun one. Again, I'll let you guys play with the system. And you'll get that one from my training company. But yeah, we'll give you guys a minute to play with it. Let's see what else. In terms of tools, text messaging, obviously you guys are seeing this one heavily right now. Funnels, right? Funnels and lead pages. That's essentially what it does as well. Website builder, it does have a fully functioning website builder inside of it. I actually have my own neighborhood website built on GeoCentral. Direct mail and gifting, we talked about that one quite a bit. Forms and capture, that one is fun. How many of you have used a Google form before? Samantha just went through it. See, that's hilarious. You're welcome. I'm glad you had some fun with it. Google Forms, it's essentially what we are doing within it, just it's not Google Forms, it's GeoCentral Forms. We've got, let's see what else is in there. Analytics, I'm a big number fan in terms of nicely displayed numbers. So I don't think I'm a number nerd, but just sometimes glancing at it and be like, hey, are people actually looking at my website, right? Or are people actually scanning my QR code? Like, that's kind of important. Call tracking, you already saw that one. Reputation management. I know you guys had already texted in the word review, right? You pranked me. German was a dry sense of humor. So we talked about the reviews, right? Review auto-responding. Actually, it was Samantha, I think, that left a Google review. And I want to say you probably, at this point, did it about an hour ago. Let's see. So why don't we see if it already kicked in? Because I saw your review come through. So. And share this tab. All right. Everybody can see that? Okay. So this one here is the review page that came back. So here you see 2 hours ago. So 2 hours ago, she left a review. And 53 minutes ago, my AI actually responded. So she reviewed the Bootcamp. So first up, thank you. And then my AI kicked in and just said, thanks so much, Samantha. We're thrilled Janine and the bootcamp helped you scale and get real results. It's fantastic to hear the challenges produced outcomes and that you found the session informative and fun. Congrats on upgrading to VIP. We're excited to support you as you dive in. And thank you for recommending the bootcamp to other agents. Thanks so much for your trust. Your review means a lot. Clearly, I didn't write that. A big part of this is also how this is perceived. So when I am a buyer or a seller and I go and look at your Google reviews and I see that it says here, the hyperlocal agent in brackets owner, right? If this was my real estate page, it would say my name in there and then in brackets owner. If they see that I respond to every single Google review, what is the perception that you're creating to these clients? Wow, that agent really is on top and connected with her clients, right? That's a big part of this. Oh, military brat, you'll be in good hands. I love my military people. You guys are no BS getting it done, people. So, yes. So, Dankeschön. Wunderbar. But yes, so when you have a Google review page that is simply just looking like this because you have an AI being on top of it, right? It looks really great. And we get notifications for these too. So that's kind of fun. All right. Moving back to our slides. Let me take off the home value one. That was fun. Thanks for playing along. All right. So we've got that covered. Quiz software, right? Again, this is from SOI system, birthday system, anniversary system, firm system, follow-up system, mail courses, right? If I do it more than once, chances are I have put a system in place. And that's what the bootcamp special is. So hopefully I explained this well. After the 90 days, we get asked, okay, what after the 90 days? And there's really a couple outcomes. By default, right? By default, it rolls into a $249 a month plan. The only time we have a monthly plan available. Now, a lot of our agents that are there, they stay. And if they stay, they're like, Janine, I don't want to do $249 a month. I much rather do your quarterly plan or your annual plan. And we just change them over. There's also the option to cancel. Again, we're a big people of it needs to be a fit. And if this is not aligning with you, okay, no hard feelings on our end whatsoever. So yes, canceling is a complete option. And that's the bootcamp bonus. We talked about this one. My team will literally install all these things for you because I get it that people are busy. This is an agent and we've been trying to get her to sit down and do it. And it's just not working. So when we changed it over, she now has a fully functioning birthday automation. She has a fully functioning home anniversary automation. All her farming postcards are done, ready to go. She's like, oh my gosh, it's been amazing, right? So that's what this is. So we'll go over some of that. Again, now we're down to 7 spots. So that's a fun one, but we only do 10 installs a month. And the reason being is that my team will literally physically do it with you. So it's just a matter of capacity. If I need to expand to 20 spots a month, it's just that I need to hire more people. Like it's a capacity issue. And right now we're not planning on that. But yes, obviously as the bootcamp grows, we will. But as of right now, what the capacity is on the team is 10. Can I stretch it to 11? Probably, right? But that's currently where we're at, what we noticed. Other than that, that'd be working overtime. And when people work overtime, they make mistakes. So I much rather would hire more people and train them than just making my people tired. All right, so that's the bootcamp special summarized. All the things there. It's a lot. I understand it's a lot. And here's a couple agents. Signed a listing from one of my mailers. Ryan, he's like, he's very happy with it. Automations allow him to target people in creative ways. Landing pages help him with lead generation. And he even has built websites with it, which is kind of cool. The main reason that he went with this version of it was the free postcards that have helped him stay in front of his sphere and his farm. And then this is the visitor reveal. So they added a website to get addresses on website visitors. And that's currently what we have added. April, I'm at least one that represents Indiana. So in case you're wondering, we don't just have, $45,000 commission check, California people. There's Indiana. And she has been for at least a couple years now. But since I have ever done in my real estate business career, best thing I have ever done in my real estate business, blessed and thankful that I found Janine or that she found me. She didn't want to spend the money to learn everything and haven't really put GeoCentral to use yet. I will tell you, sometimes it feels like you're just scraping the tip of the iceberg with the system. And I agree. That's how I feel sometimes still too. It has so many capabilities. I mean, it could run my Facebook ads, which is kind of cool, but I haven't even dabbled on that. So I have had my best year in real estate, where I hear from others they've had their best money I've ever spent. So that is the Bootcamp special on there. The 8x8 farming campaign will be completely built out for you for the farming domination. There's also a downsizing campaign and an expired campaign that you can access. So we call these our micro campaigns. So when you have a micro campaign, you can just have a smaller mailing list. Let me see if I have one here. Like here's one, like we're paying too much money for the house, right? Here's another one of it. So all of these are what we call micro campaigns for downsizers. Samantha says I'm canceling all of it. That's literally what people do. I have canceled my MailChimp, $268. I have canceled my webinar software for, I want to say it's like $67 a month. I have canceled my Calendly account. Almost another $12. I have canceled, what else did I cancel? My open house app thingamajig, was like Open Home Pro or something like that. I canceled that one, which was like $25 a month. Like and everyone is getting Das Boot. See, that would be good. I actually grew up with Das Boot. For soccer, when we won in soccer, the boot went around. And if you were the last one emptying it out, you were the one paying for a new round. All right. So that's really all about, getting signs in the neighborhood. Seeing your signs go up instead of somebody else's. That's the problem we're trying to fix. We went through the framework, right? Envelopes, hand raisers, emails. Our people are going on a class once a month. We call these classes CEO time, and they put their emails in place for the month ahead. So we batch and schedule out emails, and they're not regular emails. They're more connection emails. What's going on in your life? What are you working on, right? Getting people to personally interact with you and your life is a different skill set for email marketing, and that's a class I teach. And then making sure that you actually end up with higher quality leads, predictable clients. You become a listing agent and get away from a buyer agent. Not that I don't believe buyer agents are needed, they are, right? But at the same time, as you control your inventory a lot better with listings. You also have, buyer funnels in them, because I do think there's a market that buyer agents will do better. And then there's a market where seller agents will do better. So understanding both, I think, is an important part of what we do for a well-rounded business, right? But you just control better as a listing agent. And it attracts buyers at the same time. So increases trust. It doesn't really take complicated stuff. It's also very genuine and not salesy to be in your neighborhood. So I don't door knock. I don't cold call, right? It's a very scalable and at the end of the day, sellable way of building your real estate business. I don't know about you, but one day I'm looking to exit my real estate business. And most agents, when they exit, they just stop, right? Everything just goes. And I don't know about you, but I worked way too hard for my business to just go from 0 to, or from 100 to nothing. So I'm like, how can I exit my business? So a big part of that business phone number we talked about, it's how can I exit? And if I have a number to hand over, it's a sellable feature that somebody else can now answer, right? So that's where all of this is coming from. Again, we talked about Amy. You heard her, this one here. She literally tried farming on and off for over 4 years in her neighborhood. And she joined in November. She had the complete system and she built it herself. She's a builder like me. So she built this entire thing out in 3 weeks. That's all she did. And she had the entire system up and running. Her first seller leads ended up being 26. I think she went on 2 appointments at this point. But again, most agents are worried about expensive, right? We talked about it's 2 systems combined. Even if your past clients are just seeing you with mail, right? We talked about expensive and labor and time as well a little bit. I gave you the example for my my little note card campaign. This one here, me and 2,000 note cards. I luckily had help. I wanted to liquidate inventory. That was right when we switched over to GeoCentral. And I went through the numbers, right? 3 days, 3 adult, 8 hours, assuming $14 an hour, McDonald's rate, right? If I go ahead and do the math in labor, it costs me $336 a day for the campaign. So that one here was times 3 days, about $1,000 in labor, plus the mailing cost, right? I had the material, I had the postage. Per piece, it was roughly over $1. I didn't even realize that because all I was focused on was 36 cents in postage. And when I started doing the math on all the numbers, I'm like, man, this was not cheap at all. So again, bigger picture is a big part of what we do here. So when I got started, I did a lot of things in my farm manually, and it's, you know, it's part of the journey. It's part of my journey, at least the detour that I took. I know Samantha is currently in the middle of doing her letters, and you can ask her how many hours she has spent so far, because I know it's not easy. Like, I know it takes effort, right? Feel free to let us know, Samantha, because since you're on here and I know you've been doing the letters, but between designing them, printing them, stuffing them, addressing them, I don't know if you do mail and get them out the door with postage, or if you drop them off in a door hanger bag. It's a lot. So time is adding up, and it is one of the resources that doesn't replenish. It just goes away, right? So again, that's what GeoCentral takes over for me. One system. Yes, unlimited free printed postcards are in it. Yes, 2 systems, farming and client retention. And like I said, all the things I don't have to do manually anymore is a big part of how I now get to just hang out with my kids and also teach. I mean, the reason I have time to build a training company is not because my real estate business isn't busy. If you look up my transactions, like if you look up my transaction count, you see I'm still producing. I am still listing, right? But at the same time, I've built one of the best training companies for farming on top of it because I had the time. So you pay for postage on a as much as you need basis. We go on a hyper wallet, so everything comes out of a hyper wallet. I do suggest we just put $10 on your hyper wallet, and then it just keeps track. 10 letters a day, about an hour. So if you look at that, that's 6 minutes per letter. If you just do the math, 6 minutes per letter. 10 letters, about an hour, right? And then yes, the hyper wallet in the print portal just goes by what you need, what you take out of it. All right, let's see what else. This is why I do it. Those are my 2 kids. Again, it seems like they're growing really fast. You know, when people tell you they grow up so fast, and you're like, yeah, I'm sleep deprived, right? Don't talk to me about they grow up so fast. But yeah, here they are, and here I am saying, well, I guess they're right. So, agent in Michigan uses the system. She's actually one of the case studies that you can read. She closed 14 deals last year in her farm, and she was new to the farm. And it's because every lead matters. Not just the leads that opt in and call, right? But also the leads that just silently raise their hands. That's important too. So for winning in farming this, quarter, like this year, moving forward, it's all about the strategy plus the data points. You need to have access to the invisible hand raisers who is curious, because people are not going to be as blunt and call you or, submit a form. Like, they don't do that. There's a lot more subtle indicators, and those are the ones we have to look for. And certainly it doesn't hurt when you wake up and there's leads on your phone. So again, that's the Bootcamp special. My team will do the install of the anniversary, the postcards, and all of that good stuff that keeps the business running. So that is what they do. And then that's just summarizing all of the things right here. Let's see, there's a couple people that have spoken out about GeoCentral. This is Maggie. She uses it as a game changer. Having all of your mail marketing and email CRM in one place allowed her to get rid of other systems. I think I already saw that comment here made by somebody. Yes, it's possible. I gotta look for my charger. The print portal has helped her automate mails and gifts to past clients, which was really always falling behind on sending. So if you have tried keeping up on it and you couldn't and you fell behind, this was all of us. All of us felt the same way. So we've done this one, same problem. We all have the same problem. That's why I said business is not unique. It's just a matter of how do you want to solve it? Do you want to build it and figure it out? Or do you want to just plug into it, right? Here's another one. Jonathan, he's a single father. And for him, he understood that this was a way for him to actually spend summer vacation with his kids, right? So that's why we do it. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't build the system to get rid of it. I built the system to start because I needed it. You can add farms, you can change farms, like you are in control. Does our farm have to be a specific neighborhood? You can choose a city. You can use yep. I just need the name of a subdivision. We have a thing that goes through what's a profitable farm. We want it to be a profitable farm. Okay. So meaning that there's turnover, meaning that the ideal person lives there. Because otherwise, if there are just a bunch of renters, that's not good, right? So we want to make sure it's a profitable farm. Let's see. Here's Stephanie. And let me plug in, and then I'll read you hers. Otherwise, I'd be going away. All right, we're plugged in. Stephanie is a little bit more on the techie side. So she peeked into it and she's like, man, blown away at the amount of time and effort and coordination you've put into putting together your system. As a techie nerdy gal, I just am in awe because I have an idea what you've done to put this all together. I recognize this would take me years to assemble and launch my business if I was trying to do this on my own. Thanks for you making it easy and speeding up my business. She's pretty new in real estate, but she came to real estate with a corporate background. So it's a very interesting thing that when I talk to people, their background always matters to me because you have always different experiences, right? I've never done mailers, so I want to be prepared for what is needed. So I maximize the 90 days. Plus I do have deals ongoing. So yeah. See, now you know why we're building the system, because agents told me this all the time. They're like, I'm busy. What are we doing? You do need to pick a farm, and you can just use a mail listing builder. But I don't know what market you're in enough to see, oh, this might be a good area, right? So, but yeah, list building, it's an easy one. That's not a difficult one anymore. So we just tell the team the name, different things. I mean, you can just go and buy a list inside the portal. I just don't know the area you're looking for. So there's a little bit of research involved. It's like the do it once research, right? Where are the people that are currently selling? So let's just do it for easy reasons. 50 plus years old, should be in the neighborhood for at least 70% of occupants. Okay, because that's the people that are currently selling. So then if I look, okay, this neighborhood has that present, I could just pull a list for that specific area. And then again, your final installation and handover call, if you are still not sure at that point, then we'll do all of that together. So it's all good. All right. Money back guarantee. Yes. If you run your first 8x8 farming campaign and don't generate a lead, I literally will give you your money back. Okay. And I think it's just a matter of put your money where our mouth is. Again, I've drilled it down to a science. I sent over 60,000 postcards myself, right? So what we try is not just, oh, I think it's going to work. Like we have done it over and over. Let's see. If I have a question after the sale, then what? We're going to get there. Good question. Support and accountability. Look at your timing. Perfect timing. Weekly life coaching. First up, so there is actually twice a week at this point. We're twice a week that there's trainers inside. I do one of the classes and generally one other agent does the other one. So you'll meet the trainers in a second. But you do have also a one-on-one messenger channel. Literally sent me a message. Like I've had an agent at 10 o'clock at night, like 3 days ago, and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I did, but I think I just erased everything. And she was in major freakout mode. So I happen to work a lot at night, but it's an actual part where she just sends me that message. Her account was fine, but we restored it. Took me all of 2 minutes. Her freakout was handled. So it's all good. I will not promise you a 10 o'clock at night response time every time, but generally if you need something that is like urgent, right? There's a messenger. There's also a Facebook group, which is not 24/7, but 7 days a week. So people post their questions in there and they get answers within an hour. Let's see. If you don't see what you're looking for, we create it. There is also 2 designated support teams. So we have a print support team, which is 24/7. So if you need to talk to somebody, they're in there 24/7. Yes, real people. And yes, robots too, but real people too. And then there's tech support, print support, and print support is for your print portal. For those of you that have print portal access right now, it is the blue support bubble. I don't think you're a pain in the butt when you're asking questions. It's actually a really, really important part of understanding is asking questions, right? Classes are live, so twice a week there is live classes. We call them CEO time because they're not classes really. They're for you to come and show up and get stuff done. So example, we had, today is the second Wednesday. The second Wednesday we talk about a farming postcard. And we don't just talk about a farming postcard, we actually have agents on the call doing their farming postcards. And if we have already scheduled out their farming postcards, we want them to work on a micro farming campaign while they're with us, right? So it's very much you come to the call because we're holding space. We're trying to hold space for you, because if we don't hold space, we find that sometimes our clients are running the show. They're like, yeah, but I just had this phone call come in, or just this, right? If you have a standing appointment, you know this is like your work inside Geocentral space, and it just has helped a lot of people to be really good about their time. So that's the part. Yeah, so you will not screw up with your farm. Nothing is permanent. We can always change a farm. It'll be okay. You can actually talk to somebody. So again, structured milestones. Obviously, there are milestones that we're looking for. There is also the messenger access for real questions, the group. You get feedback in real time, so you don't have to wait until the next call. That would be silly, because when you have a question, you need an answer. At least that's how my world works. I don't have my questions unanswered for a week. Like I'm already moved on to something else at that point, right? So when it comes to your support team, it's not just me at this point anymore. Again, we have grown quite the team. Suzanne is there for our funnels and websites. She has a very similar disposition than I do. She is German raised, German bred. So very methodically on everything she teaches. So she teaches funnels and websites. So if you're working on a funnel and website and you're like, this is just not working the way I wanted, she is your support person. Tag her. She got your back. She will look at it. She's jumped on Zoom before with people. Then there's Andrew. Andrew is our organic social media. So if you're thinking about reel creation and all of that, that is all that he teaches and does, because yes, hyperlocal agents do have an online presence. But a big part of what we do there is not based on you constantly creating content. Like we don't want you to be the dancing bear, right? We want you to be the business owner. So what he does is he helps you create a lot of evergreen content, but it's still personal. And then you can just schedule it out. I don't think I talked about it yet, but we have a social media scheduler inside Geocentral. So That's how we schedule out on all platforms simultaneously. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it. Push of a button. It goes out to all of them at the same time. So that's another part that's in there. Direct mail, that's obviously me. I get to talk a whole lot about direct mail, farming strategies, events, etc. Email marketing too. And then there is Jeffrey, and he is teaching AI and automations. So you can actually thank him for us bringing ChatGPT into our workflows, because he is in charge of making sure you get to leverage that. So AI prompt building and all of that there. So no, there's quite a team behind GEssential at this point, which is awesome. All right, adding me to your onboarding team. We're going to call it our fast action bonus, meaning that if you have already said yes, or you're still on the fence, that's fine. But not only do you have a client success manager, but I'm also going to be overseeing some of your onboardings. It's 2 reasons. One, I want to make sure my team doesn't mess up. Okay, that's a big part of this. And they've been good. I mean, I will tell you, they are spot on with everything they've been doing. I'm a micromanager. Like, I'm a full-blown micromanager. So because of that, I like to have my eyes on it, which is why we have also added the fast action bonus. I think eventually I will take it away, because once the team is drilled in, there's no need for it. But I also like to micromanage. So right now, your final call is actually with me, meaning that I will be the one onboarding you on the final one. And that final call is about 2 hours. I will tell you that. Spend some time. We're going to set up the entire system together. This is not a 2 minutes and done. This is a couple hours of intensive, where are things going, connecting things. Again, I'm a builder, so getting in there is pretty easy. And I really, really enjoy them actually too. But there's that one. We call it a fast action bonus 2, and a fast action bonus 3, which is access to all of my just listed and just sold marketing playbooks for copy. So all of that copy is on there. So that summarizes the entire bootcamp offer, I think. That's again, geessential.com/90 days. And let's see, we went through that. Best time to get started. You heard the tree analogy. I always like to bring this graphic. 30 years ago, stamps were at 33 cents. Now they're double that. So, the 30-year analogy is a little different for us. I would have loved to start with direct mail 30 years ago, but that's okay. Everything happens to increase, right? When you look at this graphic, I showed that to you during the bootcamp. Year over year, Facebook increased 89%, Google Ads 198%, YouTube 108% year over year, Amazon 87 cents year over year, TikTok, Snapchat, right? It's more for the e-commerce part. Direct mail, however, the cost increase was 3.2% year over year. So if I go back to this graphic here, this is where the 3.2% came from. Over this period of 30 years, it's a 3.2% increase. And the interesting part is that the barrier of entry is going to get harder. And direct mail, it will get harder too. I do think we're going to go to over $1 a piece eventually, which honestly, a lot of people are afraid of that. When you have started, right, with that, you're not afraid of it anymore, because now you're looking at it and be like, yeah, let that barrier of entry get bigger, because it takes competition away. That's really why I think the more people wait, the bigger the barrier of entrance is going to get. And these platforms here have proven it. How many of you remember when Facebook ads started? How cheap they were. And now you can't get a booked phone call for less than $500, right? And that doesn't mean you close the phone call either. That's just some of these crazy numbers out there. So that's summing up the bootcamp special, $497, 90-day access, which breaks down to the annual pricing our annual members enjoy. And my team is doing the done for you setup, which normally I charge $6,000 for. So that one is yours free. And again, I trained these people. They are fantastic at what they do. This one is our print portal. So again, this is the warehouse. It is located in Utah. It has over $500,000 of print equipment in it. And from there, in terms of delivery times, again, we've had Washington, right, was one of them. And then Georgia was the other one. So you see here delivery times roughly because we are sending out of the Salt Lake City area. So again, unless you are in the red, we are working on a secondary facility. It's just a matter of growth. So help us grow faster and we can get to a second facility faster. The vision, the company vision, is to get to everybody with mail in 3 days or less. 1 day. And yes, we do ship to Canada as well. Sending out 300 mailers, just $234. Yes, it is. 78 cents. You have to sell. You like to do Facebook ads these days? Yes, but again, this is not how Facebook ads started. And right now we're seeing it again probably with OpenAI, how they are now capitalizing on it as an ads platform. It'll be fairly affordable and then eventually it's going to spike up, right? So that's that one. I have generally like a last minute, 15-minute timer that I do. And that one just talks about really what you want to talk about. I do say that the life bonuses that you saw there, adding me to the onboarding team, the direct mail, listing, snowball, playbooks, right? I do generally take them off the table when the timer runs out. If you've already said hi, awesome, you're all good to go. But if you have any other questions left, I'm going to scroll through because there was a lot of really good questions actually. I hope I answered them along the way because I feel like, you know, there's so many good questions coming in. But yeah, classes so I can actually talk to a person, right? Yes, that's the goal. The goal is not to be in an isolated course. This is not a course container. I think it's, you know, I think we went over that. Maybe we didn't. You know what? I think it's coming up. I think it's tomorrow. There's a bonus day 1 and 2. Bonus day 1 and 2 is one of those things where it just, bonus day 1, which is tomorrow, talks about really a big recap. There's a little bit of content in the beginning, so just FYI. And then there is bonus day 2, which is other agents. It's an agent panel. So you hear about other agents telling you a little bit more about GeoCentral and what they use it for. So if you're just wondering, you're on the fence, this might be a good one. Since you joined today, we are actually live in Chicago for our Q2 mastermind. So we have added in-person masterminds, which our members have free access to. And it's really just talking about playbooks, right? So that's happening actually on Thursday and Friday, which I know is really short notice. It doesn't get streamed. It's an in-person event. And then the next one is, let's see, I'm actually in Destin. You'll probably meet with my team for the welcome calls and everything. And then the first live class back is on the 22nd. Yes, it's the 22nd. Because we have our mastermind one. I can share with you what our mastermind retreat looks like next week, but that one is, you know, let's see. Let's go through questions first. So Gloria, you would jump on with my team pretty much whenever there is their first opening. And I can see when that is. Let's see. What's today? Wednesday. Looks like they got one on the 14th right now. That would be the first one. Onboarding, 14th or 15th. That's your onboarding. And access as of right now. All right, let's see. Left my window. A bizarro questions. Those are my favorite. I also have an insurance license. I can sell mortgage protection insurance. Can I add that on my mailers? Not to detract from the main messaging, but anyone done this before? Yeah, I mean, you can modify any of the mailers, right? That's the nice thing about having the access we have. You can access every single email and you can modify every single email. You can put it in your email signature. Like if you look at my email signature, sometimes you have my 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, how I can help you. Sometimes you just have my logo. So again, I can change all of that. So can you. You also have, which, let's see. Let's just hop over in it. We also actually have insurance postcards in it. So it's a little dual purpose on some of that. So, but you will find inside the design catalog mortgage and insurance, actually. Let's see. Industry, insurance. Some companies just tend to go hand in hand. And let's see, postcards. 8.5. Where are the postcards? There they are. Not sure how great these are because they come, so every print house generally has a pre-loaded portal. Let me see how I can bring that one over here. It's a different screen. Oh, get out. Yes, insurance stuff. Yeah, real estate insurance mortgages. Yeah, it's not uncommon, which is why I can tell you it's there. So let's see. Let me remove that one. And then share screen. And there you go. Did it? Yeah, okay. So there is an entire insurance bracket under here for insurance. Again, real estate is the predominant one. I have nothing to do with those. I will tell you that. If you are using one of them, a big part of what I would suggest is bring it back into the group or send it my way, because when I look at them, I can tell you that I probably would like to modify some of them. It's just that some of their designs, like actually I like the maze here. Let's see. Insurance farming. Huh, look at that. Like I actually like this one personally. Like it's eye-catching. It got something to it, but I would still modify it to make sure your name is on it. The QR code is on there, but this one here is like really like something's different about it, you know? This one here is okay, reminds me a little bit more of political stuff, you know, but anyhow. So just a little bit of an example. I guess I'm sure there's other stuff in there, but yeah. That's that one. Let's see. All right, let me find my screen. Any other questions? Yeah, business Medicare is your insurance over here, so it's interesting anyhow. Like I still try to find the, like I don't get it. I don't know. I understand a lot of things, but that is not it. All right, so there is that. Let's see. I want to scroll through. I think I got all the questions along the way, but if I didn't, please just repost it. Talk to a person we talked about. Again, your final handover call currently for another 7 minutes is with me. So yes, I will make sure we'll get you help. We talked about you don't have to have a neighborhood. It could be city if that's where we do. It just oftentimes we talk about city as vertical farming. The postage functions over a hyper wallet. So do we pay for postage once a month or as needed? So we function over a hyper wallet. And what a hyper wallet means is that it just will take money for the automations. That's how we are able to do our birthdays, because you are not the one sending out the birthday. The system will automatically start processing in queue the birthday gift about a week before the birthday and send it out. In order for that to be allowed, it needs to take money from your wallet. So as long as money is on the wallet, right, you have a history, you see all of that, it'll do that. And then when the wallet hits 0, it auto replenishes based on your settings. And that's when you get a receipt and you're like, okay, cool, the wallet replenished, and this is how you keep up on it. My suggestion for the wallet recharge is always to just put $10 on it, and this way you kind of stay in touch with it. I highly doubt you ran Samantha off with all your questions because she's in it as well as you are. She's like, nope. So you guys are now officially a cohort. So let's see. Change the farming one. Talked about that. We talked about her letters. Let's see. We talked about the AI. We talked about the phone number. Yeah, getting scans. I mean, Samantha, you're getting scans, so you're like, it is a pretty cool statement. All right, this is like awesome. They're like bonding in the comments here. Somebody else is watching and just not saying anything. I don't know if they're just enjoying the show or something, but we'll find out. So, okay. So does the wallet cover the monthly mailers? Yeah, so when we do the Hyper wallet is your postage wallet, and there is no money that the mailers cost because they print for $0, right? So you only pay for the postage. So once a month, our first Wednesday call, what we talk about is your SOI postcard. So this year, let's see. Again, my office needs to get straightened up very, very badly, but this year, yeah, they are. We have a lot of our maintenance ones. So these here is what we essentially go through this year, right? So right now we're in April. So that's the one we did last year. Last year we went through that one. The next one is the first one in May, which is 3, 4, 5, 6. So May 6th, that's the one we're going to talk about. So that's the one that people then go out and do. Love it because I'm reaching people I haven't met yet. Yes, cold leads and warm leads. It's a big principle, I think, in business that a lot of agents underestimate. In order for your business to thrive, you can't just have warm leads. You can't just have referrals. You can't just have one thing. If your business is, well, your business model is powered by referrals only, you're always hoping for an outside force to feed your business, right? So it's like when you put two of these things together, warm business, right, outside force, and interior, you have two things that are working on it. So that's a big part. Big part. Okay, did I just freeze? Oh no, tell me I didn't freeze. I feel like I froze. Timer is still running. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. Good thing. All right. Got about 3 minutes. Nope, you're here. Awesome. Good. My circles were like freezing the screen. Any other questions? I feel like you guys had brought a lot of good questions. I hope I answered all of them. Because otherwise I have one final song for you guys. Here's a story behind the song. You gotta listen to the words on the song. But other than that, feel free to drop any other comments, questions, anything I didn't cover. How do I confirm for the 14th? You're gonna get a message, and I know there's an email avalanche waiting for you right now. But there is a link in there that probably just came to your phone as well. It should have come to your phone saying before the email avalanche starts, please make sure you schedule your welcome call. And I will make sure I'll send that to you again if you don't see it. But the minute that, hit button, yep, my inbox is fire. I'm sorry. My very first message says before the email avalanche starts. Again, we're working on it. I don't know how many, you have like a confirmation, then you get a login, then you get another login. Then we also establish your direct mail account, which will give you a notice, and then it takes 5 minutes, and then we'll send you another one. So I promise after the first 10, it's not that bad, but it might be that bad. It gets better. Yes, well, I showed you mine. 16,000 unread emails. I'm actually in the process of hiring right now a VA that will be going through that because I just can't. My motto for this year is extreme leverage. So, all right. Well, I got one song I want to play that was actually made for GeoCentral. Feel free to listen to it. But thanks for the bootcamp. This was fun. Like I said, I have a mini training coming your way tomorrow for day 1. It is not necessary. It's just more optional. It will recap everything as well after about what we talked about here. So feel free to not listen to the entire offer. That one is recorded because I'll be in Chicago teaching our live one. And then on Friday, there is an agent panel that talks about people that are inside GeoCentral. Many of them have been there, and we're not talking for a season, for years. So my retention rate is extremely high because people generally stay to not just, learn something and then move on, but to actually build systems. So that is the goal there. Again, thank you guys so much for a fun interaction, especially Samantha and Gloria. This was fun. So thanks for making this fun. And thanks for asking in the beginning, is this recorded? Is this live? I think live is just a whole lot more fun for all of us. So, all right, everyone. I'll talk soon.
Out in the world of real estate, agents hustle, staying up late, trying to farm, trying to grow, but time slips away, moving too slow. Then came a vision, a brand new way. Janine's answer paved the way. No more stress, no more chase. Let automation take your place. Essential, the future is here. Helping agents far and near. Get more leads, grow with ease. Now you do what you please. No more knocking, no more strain. Conforming makes civil, no time in vain. Oh. Birthday wishes, home and nips. Stay in touch with just a click. Smart QR codes, templates too. Marketing's handled all for you. Why waste hours? Why lose sleep? When GeoCentral runs it deep. Follow-ups that keep you seen. Turn prospects into dreams. GeoCentral, the future is here. Helping agents far and near. Get more leads, grow with ease. While you do what you please. No more knocking, no more strain. Conforming makes civil, no time in vain. Oh. So if you're tired of the old school grind, let GeoCentral ease your mind. More connections, more success. Less time wasted, no more stress. Janine's mission, clear and true. Helping agents just like you. GeoCentral's got your back. Time to win, no looking back. No more knocking, no more strain. Conforming makes simple, no time in vain. Oh. Oh. Oh.
All right, that was a fun one. That is, yes, this song came from my executive admin. She put this one together. Literally, it described everything GeoCentral does for us. Automation, no more knocking, no more vain. Put it on repeat. So that's a fun one. Again, thanks so much for the bootcamp. And Samantha, Gloria, I know I see you, and whoever else is going to join us or has questions, let me know. But our April bootcamp live is officially done and done. All right. Bye, guys.